Welcome to Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup. I'm your host, Jason Bland. Tonight, we have returning guest, psychic Michael Bodine. He is a psychic to the stars, kind of a little bit. He has some celebrity psychic. He does a lot of celebrity psychic readings. He has like Melanie, Griffith, Gary Busey are some of his clients. We had him on before. It was a very interesting show last time he was on. He did take phone calls last time, but we had him on longer. This tonight, we only have him for an hour, according to what I had from the publicist that contacted me. But that's fine, because I honestly, a few weeks ago, I was messing over a mixing board and pulled something in my back. Well, last night, I screwed it up more. So I'm a little bit dying tonight from a bad back, which sucks in this even nice, comfortable computer chair. It doesn't help. So it will be a little bit shorter show. There is something I want to talk about after Michael gets off tonight. We'll open the phone lines and get maybe some of your guys' thoughts on it. A little extra World Wide Web weird, you could say. Article that just came out today about AI and Google becoming sentient, right? So that's something to talk about. We got a lot in the World Wide Web weird as it is, and like Michael said, Michael Bodine is a great guest, and we'll see if he'll take some, maybe if he does any kind of readings tonight, it'll be very short, because probably only about half an hour of it, but there'll be short readings if he does. We'll find out from Michael when he comes on. He'll be on after the World Wide Web weird, and we do have a lot of weird tonight, so let's go ahead and get rolling into the show. Welcome to another night of Paranormal Soup. As I said before, I'm your host, Jason Bland. Tonight's guest, Michael Bodine, psychic Michael Bodine, who's been on the show before, almost a year ago, will be joining us after the World Wide Web of Weird. Also, not joining us right now, hopefully later as well, will be Rob. He had a gig tonight, a wedding I think he was doing. So hopefully we'll get Rob later. I'd love to get his thoughts if you've seen the new article came out about the AI. Skynet, I don't know, it's Google. They actually fired this guy that has a comment. We'll get into all that later tonight, probably after Michael Bodine's interview. Joining me as always is my beautiful co-host Jamie D. How you doing tonight, Jamie?
Doing well, thank you. Glad to be back.
Yes, glad to have you back. We missed you last week. Us old people on our backs. we're both texting each other before the show. Like, she says, I'm going to be on tonight. My back's still bad. I'm like, yeah, I threw my back out. You know how I did it this time. I mean, it's the same issue from a couple weeks ago, but I made it worse last night in the middle of the night. She knows, but I woke up in a dead sleep to my cat puking, about to puke on the bed, and I jerked up out of bed, like grabbed her, and I'm like, oh, God, I need to work out. I'm getting old. to her off to bed, and here I am tonight. I'm hanging in there, though. I'm hanging in there, and I didn't want to miss doing a show, especially with our guest, Michael Bodine. But we got a lot of weird to get to, so let's go ahead and roll into the World Wide Web of Weird. Tonight on the World Wide Web of Weird, I thought I'd start with something we covered last week. It's not something I would usually carry over into a second World Wide Web of Weird, but it's a story that seems to be picking up a lot of interest. I didn't think it would, but it is. Maybe because there's just not a lot of evidence of this existence of the Dogman. This is from Coast to Coast, Tim Binnell. Texas City seeks help in identifying mysterious dogman seen in viral photo. You remember from last week, if you watched, we talked about this photo of a possible dogman. It really looks like Crash Bandicoot to me. But a possible dogman sighting at a zoo from a CCTV camera or a picture or a trail cam. I can't remember. We'll get into it. But more people talking about this, and now you got actually the Texas City officials seeking more information about it. They're actually concerned about it. For those listening on the Paranormal Soup Radio Network, we are a webcast. We stream live out to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch if you want to watch. Otherwise, listen. I'll narrate as best as possible, which isn't great, but I'll do my best. And I also have to do my best tonight because Rob had a wedding, like I said, so I have to run the World Wide Web Weird, so I'm always rusty on this. Let me get the share screen up. Beautiful StreamYard features here. Yes, share screen. Thank you. Shouldn't be narrating that, right? Okay, let's pull that up. All right, and that's not what you want to see. Let's bring up. So if you guys remember, let's see. So this is the actual Amarillo news. I have the Tim Binnell article from Coast to Coast AM, but this is what they put out there. Help solve the Amarillo mystery. And an odd update to the already strange story. A city in Texas is asking the public for their help in solving the mystery of a viral photo purportedly showing a bipedal canine creature lurking around the perimeter of a zoo in the community. The very weird image made headlines last week when it was posted to Reddit by an unnamed individual who claimed that it came from a camera stationed at the Amarillo Zoo. At the time of the tale surrounding the photo was considered fairly, at the time of the tale, surrounding this photo was considered fairly suspect, giving its anonymous source. However, a peculiar press release issued by the city of Amarillo on Wednesday morning seemingly confirms the picture's alleged origin story and calls on residents to help crack the curious case. According to the announcement, the photo was indeed captured in the dark and early morning hours of May 21st by security cameras inside a perimeter fence in the Amarillo Zoo. The press release went on to put forward a few theories for what the anomaly could have been, including a coyote walking on its hind legs. Yeah, I don't think so. A person with a strange hat, and a legendary chupacabra. Digicabra. No. Copyright Todd Reinhardt. Before conceding that the image of the constitutes a genuine mystery, for now the strange visitor is a UAO, unidentified Amarillo object. Ha ha ha. The city declared musings that perhaps Amarillo has a better explanation. To that end, the spirit of fun, if not curiosity, it's encouraged residents to submit their own guesses. Of course, it's a lot of good press for Amarillo Zoo. So they probably are going, yeah, it's totally us. Come to the zoo. Come to the zoo. Come see Crash Bandicoot. Let me see if I can zoom in on this again. Rob's so much better at this. Let me see if I can pull this up. So, yeah, I don't know. It looks like Crash Bandicoot. My son said it looked like Sonic a little bit, but look, I mean, you do see the wolfiness, or the foxy. Foxy, he's more like fox.
Okay, so I saw this one.
We talked about it last week. You weren't on, but yeah, did you see it?
I feel like it's a person. Well, we did it on World Wide Web, and to me, it almost looks like there's a fence or like a short fence he's sitting on. You can almost see like the line.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did talk about that. That's right.
And it looks like his legs might be bent, like he's sitting. Maybe a person wearing like a cosplay wolf mask, like a full head wolf mask or something. Yeah. But to me, I feel like he's sitting down, maybe.
I don't know. The one theory going around is just a trash bag caught or a tree or shrubbery. I don't think it's that. There seems like there's
No.
something more to it than that, but I don't know. The proportions are weird. I don't know. Like I've said before about this, it's interesting, maybe fascinating, possibly, but do we know anything else? Without the true provenance, like all we know is it came from a capture of some kind at the zoo May 21st. Okay, we're getting a little more information now. But I want comparison photos. I want to know where this was taken.
In a
Take a comparison
daytime photo.
daytime photo, all that. I mean, just stuff to rule out, and then we can go a little bit further. And why did it get leaked on Reddit? Just things I would like to know.
Was it just someone sitting there trying to creep out the animals, like watching animals and thought, oh, I'm just going to stick on this creepy head?
Or maybe they're like a person. It's like, I identify as a fox, and I belong in this.
Maybe.
Maybe. No, we're going to get into that. Okay, we got to move
No.
on. It's already 9 minutes in. Shoot. Okay. All right. Next up here. All right. I think this is a video here. So I'll pull this up here in just a second. Let me just get the video ready. Hold on. See, I'm so bad at this without Rob. Okay. A woman in Argentina. Hold on. I'm getting to the good stuff first. Hold on there. Women in Argentina captured footage. This is from Tim Binnell again from Coast to Coast. He's got short articles like Unexplained Mysteries, so that's like it. He's a good writer. Women in Argentina captured footage of a curious aquatic anomaly that some suspect could be a Nahulito, as you say it, a legendary creature, similar to the country's version of the Loch Ness Monster. According to local media reports, the intriguing video was filmed last Wednesday by a witness identified as Sylvania, as she was looking out over the Nahal Hopi Lake from her home in the province of Rio Negro. Yeah. To her surprise, she noticed that something unusual had seemingly broken the surface of the water off in the distance. From where we are to where the object was, there are about 2 kilometers, she recalled, so we calculated it was at least the size of a large boat. It's not the first time we've seen little things, she explained, but it's always difficult to capture them with the phone. However, on this occasion, Sylvina was able to do just that, and her video quickly went viral in Argentina, with many people marveling that she just may have filmed Nahalito. Said to reside in the Nahal Hopi Lake, the mysterious sea monster had long been legend among the indigenous people in the area and became something of a sensation in 1922 when a witness, George Garrett, told a Canadian newspaper that while visiting the lake around a decade earlier, he had seen a creature the measure of 16 to 23 feet in length, and the proportion of the monster protruded a staggering 6.5 feet out of the water. The fantastic account spawned headlines around the world and inspired him to launch an expedition in search of the beast. While his pursuit ultimately proved to be futile, the apocryphal creature that became fixture of Argentine lore ever since. To that end, similar to its counterpart in Scotland, the Nahalito has made what are believed to be sporadic appearances. Here's a little bit of the footage. I mean, you really can't see anything. You just can see there's a disturbance in the water. And that's just a lot of messy stuff. I've never been big on Loch Ness or any of that. I've been some interest in it. I love anything ancient, like could be cryptids that survived extinction from like Jurassic or any of the other previous ages, But there's just the proof of it. A lot of proof of anything else isn't that much better either. But I don't know. I thought this was interesting because it was, it's similar to Loch Ness. These people have their lore that goes back through the hundreds of years, and then all the way back to 1922 when he spotted it. So Loch Ness isn't the only cryptic creature in the water. So that's, I don't know, interesting. All right, let's move on. All right, we got this from Curiosity Rover here. And, I don't get another thing I don't get so excited about is all the anomalies that people spot on Mars. Some of them are really exciting. A lot of them are just like, yeah, I can tell you. But this, this is kind of interesting. It's explainable, they say, but man, it looks like some alien went head down and it's like their alien legs, or I don't know. It looks so alien, but I guess this is a natural phenomenon. A photo recently snapped by NASA's. Yeah, go ahead.
I haven't seen this one yet.
Oh, you haven't? Yeah. Photo recently snapped by NASA's Mars Curiosity rover shows a pair of odd spikes extending out of the surface of the red planet. The rear rock formations were reportedly photographed by the exploratory space vehicle as it was roaming around the Gale crater on the May 17th. The image was subsequently shared on social media by SETI Institute, who marveled at the wondrous Martian find and getting a jump on anomaly hunters who might offer a more fantastic explanation. Yeah, you imagine if they didn't put that out there and then they just it got out, this picture, and then it would be all over the the UFO internet. Look at these alien legs poking out of the Mars surface. No, they are spikes, most likely the cemented fillings of ancient fractures in a sedimentary rock. The rest of the rock was made of softer material and was eroded away. So basically, it's like the harder stuff in the middle of the rock that it just eroded away. But man, it looks like a fossilized alien plant of something. I don't know. It is creepy looking. But yeah, the internet would have gone ablaze with this if they didn't put out an explanation on it. I still don't. The whole what we covered about 3 or 4 weeks ago, the doorway on Mars. Everybody was talking about for so long. That thing was only like 3 feet tall, I think, or whatever. It looks so much bigger in the picture. And I think that was pretty explainable, their explanation about a rock breaking up. But people are still arguing over that. Who knows?
Now it's the dog door to Mars.
The dog door to Mars. The doggy door? Yeah, it looks big in the picture, that door. When you see it, you think it's like this big door. But I guess
it really
the measurements
does.
they have of it is like it's pretty small. All right, I thought this next one's interesting. I hate politics. Everybody listens to the show. I don't know how many times I have to say I hate politics. I actually was going to go to school for political science and discovered how much I hate politicians and politics altogether. But this was interesting. New York gubernatorial debate sees candidates asked about ghosts. I'd love to know who decided to throw this question into their debate. Debate among Democratic candidates for governor of New York took a spooky turn, and this is another one from Tim Bunnell. I got a lot from Tim tonight. Tuesday evening, when each member of this group was asked if they believe in ghosts. The unexpected inquiry, which can be seen in the video above, they have a video on Coast to Coast AM. You can get to see the actual debate. Came about during a lightning round where more lighthearted issues such as whether they preferred Superman or Batman. See, this is the stuff that pisses me off. If I actually take interest in a political debate, I don't anymore. But if I actually took interest and they're asking these silly, useless, stupid questions, when how are you going to fix all the problems in New York? There's a lot. Let's get to that. No, let's talk about you. Who's your favorite superhero? Like they're a freaking celebrity. All right, I'm off topic. Sorry. We're presented to the incumbent governor, Kathy Hochul, and her two primary challengers, Tom Suzy and Jermaine Williams. Included in the rapid-fire portion of the event was the seemingly simple query, do you believe in ghosts, which wound up prompting some of a rather enlightening answers. First candidate responded, Suzy, if that's how you say it, initially offered a succinct no before considering the answer amusing. Like, this is a no. Oh, wait a second. I'm probably going to piss off a lot of people who actually have had paranormal experiences. That's what, the wheels are turning in his head. So then he says, I believe in spirits, though. Yeah, I guess I do. Asked for his perspective on the paranormal phenomenon, Williams indicated that I'm a man of faith, so I don't know if I'd call it ghost, but I do believe in the afterlife and my ancestors are there. Rounding out the responses was Hochul, who provided perhaps the most relative answers. I speak to my mother all the time. I lost her just months before I became lieutenant governor, and she led a challenging life, and I draw inspiration from her every single day. She said, so yes, I do communicate with someone who is no longer with us. That is a total politician. But she had kudos to her bull crap answer. I mean, it's a good answer. She's good at her job, that she talks to her mother. And that this is a normal thing because people do talk to their loved ones, but it's a non-answer. She's not saying if she believes in ghosts or that her mom's a ghost. It's like she's leaving just enough out of that answer, so anybody could read about anything out of it. That is why I hate politics. But I think it's interesting they brought this up. I have to say, I would all this stupid questions like who's your favorite superhero, Superman or Batman? That's just the ghost thing would be interesting, but again, not relevant. I'm sure all the people in New York right now wanting to see their state get better don't give a crap about Superman, Batman, or Ghost. Maybe people haunted houses. I don't know. All right, let's move on. All right, this next one. Let's see. Speaking of this, I don't know if this is a ghost child in this next thing. I don't know. We're going to run out of time, so I better move on. I'm so much slower at this without Rob. Let's see. Here we go. I don't want to play the video yet. Let's stop it. Stop. Okay, so let's see. Mother in Malaysia was mystified when she filmed her son, and then this is probably, I think, a TikTok one, yeah. So who knows? Her son on a carnival attraction and noticed that the boy who had been sitting beside him had somehow inexplicably vanished in the middle of the ride. The very weird video was reportedly captured by Nora Afrina Razani, who explained that the incident occurred earlier this month during a family trip to the fairground in the city of Johar. During the excursion, her son, Muez, if I'm saying that right, wanted to go on an attraction that featured flying cars spinning in a circle, and since the adults were deemed too big for the attraction, the boy seated next to another youngster, but things took a eerie turn when the ride got underway. In the video from the fairground, Muiz and his mysterious companion can be seen zipping past the camera in one of the ride's yellow carts. However, when the Fox automobile comes back around a second time, only her son is visible, and the other youngster has seemingly vanished into thin air. When the ride was finished, the bewildered mother recalled, "My son came down, but the boy next to him did not appear anywhere. Strangely, when she asked me where his curious companion had gone during the ride, the boy did not remember anyone sitting next to him, and he was equally perturbed when he saw the video. It was scary, but my son is okay," Rosani said, while musing that she will still be perplexed by the odd disappearing act. I don't run out of time, so I'll play it here. So you see right there, there's the two boys going around. That was my edit clip, not their clip. And then comes back around, and here we go, yellow car, one boy. Now, the question is he ducking down? I don't think so. I've watched it over and over and over and over again. I don't think so. He'd be really smushed up against that seat if he was. Let's go back. See? Right here?
Oh, yeah. And the other kid would have seen him ducking, right?
Right. And he would have seen him if the story's true. If this isn't just some BS, get clicks story.
Could he have jumped out when it went around?
On a ride? I think that would cause a major issue. I hope not. Safety, they better have the scenes locked down so the kid can't jump out. But the boy, according to the story, the boy does not remember any boy sitting next to him. And
That's crazy.
Here's the boy. You don't really get to see too much of the boy in the car with him. The fence blocks it. He's got a white shirt on. And you see him. You see how big he is. He's too big to be hiding in that seat.
Yeah.
Part of him would be sticking out, I think. And like I said, the story is that the boy doesn't remember him in the car. So is this just or did they fake the video? I don't know. I don't see trickery in the video. If you did see a little clip of it edit, that was mine trying to edit this video. It wasn't theirs. They have this on Coast to Coast AM. You can see it. It's on a couple other sites. I don't know. Is it trickery? Again, I have no idea. But at least, there's somebody behind it. There's a provenance. There's a person put their name behind it. So it's, to me, more interesting. If I just saw this as a video online with no provenance, I wouldn't cover it. And we got about 5 minutes. So what do we got left? Oh, we got 2 more left. Shoot. All right, we better get moving here. I'll cover this briefly. I don't know if I'll read the whole article on this one, but I found this also interesting, as we've had the UFO hearings recently, and, more legitimacy to the UFO field. Well, there was a survey done. Belief in Roswell UFO crashes remains strong 75 years on. A recent poll demonstrated that many people in the U.S. still believe that aliens crashed at Roswell in 1947. There are a few events in UFO lore as hotly debated in the Woman Explained Mysteries as the Roswell incident, and that event has been covered in countless books, documentaries, TV shows, blah, blah, blah. Exactly as he found scattered across a ranch approximately... we already know what Roswell is. If you're watching a show and you don't know what Roswell is, I don't know how to help you. According to a recent Fairleigh-Dickinson University poll, 34% of Americans from across the political spectrum believe that it was a crashed alien spacecraft, while 12% were less certain, but still deemed such a possibility to be very likely. 28, by contrast, thought such an explanation was very unlikely. Roswell has become part of a national folklore, said director Dan Casino. I thought the number might be higher, is what I thought. It is part of such our folklore that more people might believe that it's possible. But 34% is pretty strong. That's pretty high in a poll like that. I don't know what their database of how many people they polled in this. Actually, it doesn't tell me in a shorter article. And they said across all political spectrums. I don't think it matters what political beliefs you believe in, right? I mean, if you believe in Roswell or not. I question Roswell still. Nick Redfern, I've had on the show, he thinks it was. I don't know if he thinks this one was a psyop. I can't remember. I know he doesn't believe it was aliens from his research. It was a military thing, whatever. I don't know. I know, one, I hate seeing a UFO crash saucer when they talk about Roswell because it wasn't a UFO saucer. It was a V-shaped ship. It wasn't grays. If you go back to all the earliest reports and research like Stanton Freeman did and others, they were more childlike, not with big black eyes, but big irises. There's a lot, it's become the folklore that it's also gained its own inaccurate mythology around Roswell. I see it in movies and stuff all the time. It drives me nuts. Not that we know if anything happened there, but if I were to go on that poll and answer, I would answer yes. I believe there is a good possibility it was some kind of alien crash there. All right. And then lastly, time to get on the soapbox. You know it was coming. This has been, everybody's talking about this let me get the article up. Timing here. From NASA. NASA to set up independent study on unidentified aerial phenomenon. Only took, 60, 70 years? Right? All right, NASA created an independent study group to examine UFO phenomenon. Indicative of how perception of UFOs has dramatically changed in recent years, NASA has announced plans to create an independent study group to conduct a scientific examination of the phenomenon. The space agency detailed the formation of the panel in a press release on Thursday, where they indicated that the team will examine unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAPs, which they define as observations of events in the sky that cannot be identified as aircraft or known natural phenomenon. NASA indicated I lost my spot. Indicated that the group will focus on collecting currently available data while determining how to improve future collection methods and ultimately figuring out how this information can be used to move the scientific understanding of the UAP thing forward. And we're going to run out of time, so I'm not going to read the rest of it. But this is my thoughts on it. As more and more of our government agencies are saying, of course, Air Force is still like, yeah, we're not doing nothing. But as now we got NASA, we have the DOD, we have the Navy. They're all putting, and they're all supposed to be coordinating together, except for the Air Force. They probably have all the stuff, right? Is something coming? That's the question I have to ask. Is something coming? I mean, you wouldn't want a big reveal. It may be a real, true disclosure, not from our government, but something that they can't control that's going to come out to prove that we have been visited, that a lot of these stories are true, like Roswell. Well, you don't want to be caught with your pants down and like, oh, we didn't study that at all. We had no idea. But you want to prepare and say, yeah, we've been looking into this. I don't know. Because, I mean, NASA doesn't want their budget cut anymore. Imagine if aliens did land. They've been here the whole time. They're like, well, we've been here for thousands of years. We've been flying around all the time. NASA should have plenty of pictures of us. And then NASA's called up to Congress when it's time for their budget. And why didn't you look into this? Why did you not have interest? Did you cover this up? They're the little guys on this totem pole of conspiracy, actually. NASA's just the camouflage. So maybe this is some preparation for some kind of disclosure. I don't know. But I find it interesting that all these groups are now just suddenly taking their interest, and they're going to study it. Our best men and women on it, right? That's it for the World Wide Web Weird. Our guest tonight is Michael Bodine, psychic extraordinaire. No, he wouldn't probably let me say that, but he is awesome. He's a real fun guest, and I can't wait to have him back on the show. I don't know if we'll do any readings. We only have him for an hour tonight. It might be a short show. It all depends on you guys. I don't know. I definitely don't think we'll go 3 hours tonight because we're going to have him for an hour, and then we'll come back. I want to talk about this new AI thing going on with Google and open up the phone lines and get your guys' thoughts on it. All right, guys, we're going to go to commercial break. When we come back, guest Michael Bodine, psychic. When I see Michael Bodine, he's such an awesome guy. He has such energy. I want to say extraordinaire. No. When we come back for the short commercial break.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday, the live stream, with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do Voices from Beyond, the Cold Case Files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Since 1948, Fate magazine has brought you reports of the strange and unknown, all of them true. Fate Radio is carrying on that tradition, bringing you the unusual, macabre, strange, and bizarre. Join host Kat Hobson Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
Of the second kind, physical evidence of a UFO. Close encounters of the third kind, contact. From Steven Spielberg, the director of Jaws, comes one of the most ambitious and unusual films ever made. And what you will see has never been seen before. It's a cosmic mystery crossing what many scientists believe will be the next threshold of human experience. It is called Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It begins in an Indiana town and leads to one inescapable conclusion. We are not alone. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Certificate A. Now showing at the Odeon, Leicester Square.
The international chart-topping, haunted horror of Haverfordwest has been described as terrifyingly real, a must-read, shocking and chilling brilliance, genuinely worrying, utterly frightening. Don't read before bed. Described as one of the spookiest writers out there, best-selling author G.L. Davies presents Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest. The true paranormal account that is shocking the world. Dare you enter? Dare you read? Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, and wherever books are sold. Pray you never have to live there.
This is the sound of a space clock aboard a U.S. satellite 180 miles above the Earth. No one winds up this timepiece. It's powered by a tiny battery, a battery that delivers power for years without replacement. Now the same type of battery, the Duracell battery, can bring new reliability and long life to your battery-operated equipment. Radios, cameras, toys, all run far longer. Duracell batteries, the long-distance power cells, outlast any ordinary battery. The same type of battery that keeps space clocks running for years can bring long life to anything powered by batteries. Dura, as in durable. Cell, as in power cell. The Duracell battery, made by Mallory.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from Talkstream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Switch to DCS ranging.
240, nominal to profile.
We're in the pipe. 555.
Tonight on Paranormal Soup, our guest is psychic Michael Bodine. We had him on almost a year ago. Michael was young when he discovered his psychic abilities. He spent his childhood studying with established psychics and going to psychic camps, somewhat reluctantly, to gain a greater understanding of his gifts. Through the loving support of his mother, May, he was able to mature into his practice while staying true to his own creative style. Michael has been a professional psychic for more than 35 years, giving readings, performing ghost bustings, and speaking at events and conventions. His clients range from celebrities like Melanie Griffith and Gary Busey to financiers and dog walkers. His books are Growing Up Psychic from Skeptic to Believer, chronicles in his life and path coming to terms with his gifts as a psychic, and A Psychic Life, What It's Really Like. He also writes for a weekly column for True Magazine. He was an awesome guest last time we had on. We only have him for an hour tonight. I'll see if Michael wants to open up the phone lines maybe in a half an hour if you guys want to call in. I don't know if he'll do readings or not. We'll see. He did last time. But we wouldn't have a lot of time if you do call in. It'd be a very short reading if he does. With so much great stuff we talked about last time. Vampires, that even came up. To crazy paranormal experiences that he's had. Is really, truly interesting guest. So hang in there tonight. We got a great show. Like I said, I'm already getting crap in the chat room about maybe not doing 3 hours tonight. So we'll see. We'll see, people. Royal. I hear you, Royal. We'll see how long we go. But let's go ahead and get to our guest. All right, let's bring, hopefully we got it all. We didn't have a sound check, so hopefully we're good. Let's add him to the stream. We got Michael there. You there, Michael?
I'm here. How you doing?
Doing great. It's great to have you back on the show. Hopefully we got you. Uh-oh. I see Freeze. Are you there, Michael?
I'll be here all night if you need me. Oh, I'm here.
Okay. You froze up for a minute. Hopefully we don't lose connection. Hopefully it's just, yeah. You hear me now, though? You're all there?
Yeah. I can hear you really great. Really easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, welcome back to the show. It's an honor to have you back on. Like I said, last time we had you on, we talked about a lot of interesting things.
Hey, it's fun to be back. How you doing?
Doing good. Am I delayed?
Yeah.
You hear me right away?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I can hear you right away, yeah. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like we might have a delay. I don't know if that's a connection issue.
Well, now you're kind of in and out.
Oh, boy. Uh-oh. Hopefully we can keep you on. I don't know. He is cutting out. I don't have a backup for him, I don't think. Let me go check my email. See if he comes back. He is frozen.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you all right. Are you on a Wi-Fi signal with that, what you're using? He's frozen again. All right. I got to check my emails here, see if we got the backup. Oh, boy. We're losing you, Michael. I'm wondering if we're going to have to go to audio only or do like Skype or something because you're cutting in and out.
Yeah, I don't know. I got a full thing of internet here, but I don't know what the deal is. I'll do whatever you guys need me to do.
All right. Well, we'll see if we can keep this connection. I don't know. It was like given its delay, maybe it'll get better. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So
and then I can hear you really fine.
Yeah, I think it's delayed. Shoot. Do you have Skype?
Oh. Yeah. Do you want to try me on Skype?
Yeah, I'm looking for. I'm trying to find where I had your extra information, contact info. I'm looking for it.
Dead Guys or Us, maybe, or.
Okay. Well, let me check. Let me see. I'm gonna see if I can find you because we had you on this last time. It worked.
Yeah, it did. It should have. Why? It's probably just the whole psychic stuff.
All right. It's a psychic, the psychic stuff. All right, I found you on Skype.
Skype the hell out of it.
We have that as a backup. Let's see. Yeah, because I'm afraid this is going to be delayed too much. All right, I'm calling you on Skype.
Okay, call me on Skype. I'm here.
Okay. I might mute you on this here, see if we can pick you up. All right, we'll try to reach him on Skype. I can't do delay. Oh, it says Michael isn't online. Hold on. We'll try him again. Because it was definitely delayed. Because anything I'd say he'd answer me back at least 5 seconds, 10 seconds later. Try calling him again. Technical difficulties, people, hang in there. Trying him on Skype. He says he still isn't online. Send him an invitation. There's a weird crackling noise, too. Maybe he's got to get it set up. We're waiting for Michael Bodine. Hopefully we'll get him on tonight. We'll limit my phone lines a little bit because the line I'm calling him in just for the best connection is the main line. But I am not getting him. It's saying no answer. I got another Michael Bodine. Let me try this one. There's 2 of them on there, so I just realized I might have the wrong one. All right. Let's see. You there, Michael?
I'm so here.
All right. Yeah, it was so delayed. I'm like, yeah, we're not going to be able to make that work. It won't be video. It's just going to be audio. I don't have... Yeah, it'll just be on audio, sadly. Last time StreamYard worked, sometimes it wants to be funny with internets.
Yeah.
Well, internet. Sorry about all the technical difficulties, but it's great to have you back on the show, Michael. I gave a little bit
how you doing? You doing okay?
Yeah, except for a bad back. I'm out of shape and getting old. I turned 43 yesterday, so I'm feeling it today. Or not yesterday, Friday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, happy birthday.
Well, when we had you on the show, man, we had gotten into so many different topics. I remember you talking about vampires, and that was super interesting.
Vampires, man.
Yeah, oh my God. That was super interesting. People definitely go check out. We had him on before, and we talked about your. I think you were 13 and saw vampires. You've lived a very interesting life. I don't want to. We only have an hour. Let's say we only have an hour tonight, so I want to get into a little brief history of how you've gotten into this.
Well, Marina said that she didn't want me to go, but I'll go as long as you need me to go. So don't worry about it.
Oh,
really.
Okay. All right.
I'll go as long as you need.
Oh, okay. All right. Awesome. Because, I'll try to use my phone lines on the other line tonight. Hopefully work. We'll see. I might have my other co-hosts here. I can bring other people on. Would you want to do a little bit of readings tonight, too, later?
Hell yeah. Let's see what the hell we get.
All right.
Sure.
All right, awesome. Phone lines will be limited tonight because I have to keep Michael on one line. So tonight, guys, just remember when you call in, if I hang up, you'll try again after the person gets off. But we'll do that later in the show. Don't call now. I want to talk to Michael. All right. So, Michael, since we got more time with you, I have a lot of new listeners at times. Hopefully I do. That might not know you. And I really want them to know you because you're one of the most interesting psychics I've had on the show. You've had such an interesting life.
Oh, that's a nice thing to say.
Well, it is, because you come from a family of psychics. I'd like you to, kind of give people a little brief history of yourself.
Yeah, so I come from a family. So my mom, it goes way, way back. But, I grew up in a family. I'm the youngest of 4. And I grew up in an upper middle class neighborhood. Everything was like normal. My father had this really nice house built. It wasn't on an Indian burial ground or anything like that. And the very first time that we had a weird experience is I was like 7. And I have my sister Echo. We're all 3 years apart. And I had a brother. And he was downstairs learning how to play the drums. And he sucked. He was really bad. But then there was a time that it sounded kind of good. It sounded kind of tight. And so we thought, because he had, those records, how to play the drums by kind of thing. And it sounded like he put on one of those. And then all of a sudden, after that, we heard the cymbals being knocked down and the drums being knocked down. And he came flying upstairs. Yeah. And see, in my family, my dad was a big guy. He was like 6'6". He was just big mitts, just one of those Navy guys, And he, males just didn't show fear. They just didn't do that. And my brother certainly never did. And so when he came upstairs, he was like freaked out. I had never seen him scared before. And it was kind of fun for me. It was because, we had this whole, he used to beat me up all the time, so it was kind of fun to see him scared.
Right.
But I didn't know what it was. And he didn't want to talk about it. And my dad was pissed, like, what the hell is going on down there? And everybody's like, what? And he said, no, I don't want to talk about it. Finally, my mom, who's like just a sweet woman, gets him to talk about it. And he said that he was playing the drums just like normal. And this guy comes through the wall and parks himself in front of the drums. Wow. And he said he got so scared, he just put his head down and started playing. And that's when he actually sounded better. And then because he was so freaked out, and he would look up and he'd see this guy and he'd say, and then put his head back down, and finally he asked whoever this was to please leave, and it did. It went through the other wall, and that's when he came flying upstairs. And when he was telling us this story, I remember thinking, "Oh, shut up! What really happened?" But that was the first time that I felt that there was this weird feeling that there's something in the air, like somebody was looking at you,
Yeah.
And I didn't, none of us thought there was actually ghosts because we didn't believe in that kind of stuff. But and my dad was like, "Yeah, whatever, go down."
If I remember right, your dad built the house, right? It was a brand new building.
Yeah, it was a beautiful, great house. And so then a week later, we were all sitting around eating dinner again. And this time he was there because he didn't want to go downstairs alone. He was scared to go downstairs.
I would be.
So, yeah. And now this is going to sound weird, and it really was weird, but it actually happened because I was there. And we had this lazy Susan, and this salt shaker gets up like a couple inches off this thing, goes across the table really slow, and then drops between my mom and my dad. And as we were, we were all talking about stuff, and we all stop and we're looking at this thing, and it's like, come on, how's this? What is this? What? It's like a magic trick, you know? And then when it dropped, see, I assumed my brother had hooked up some sort of pulley system because we had been giving him so much crap about, hey, invite your ghost friend over for dinner, but he didn't. There was no wires or anything like that. And my dad was the same way. He was like, "Oh yeah, quit goofing around like that now. Stop doing that." And but there was that weird feeling in the air, and it was just like, what the hell? We didn't think it was ghosts because that was stupid. That was like something you see on Bewitched. It wasn't something that actually happened. But then more and more stuff like that started happening. Like you'd walk in the kitchen or something, and somebody would tap you on the shoulder, and you'd turn around and nobody was there, or lights were going on and off, or stuff that you could kind of explain in your head, or you'd open up a cupboard and stuff would slide out in your hand, and you'd think, well, that's odd. But then you thought, no, whoever put that in there must have put it in the wrong. It just kept going on, and it didn't happen at any particular time, and it didn't happen to any particular person. Sometimes it happened by yourself, sometimes it was with other people, and it just got weird. And this went on for like 6 months, and we still didn't think anything about ghosts. I mean, you just didn't. But my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and this is like 1965 or whatever it was, and she was experiencing a lot of it. She was getting a little nervous.
How old was your mom? How old was your mom at this time? This is a question I didn't get to ask last time. I wonder because I have to say I've always when we first talked I was really interested in your family's experience because of how it came out of nowhere, and in a house that probably isn't haunted, but now is. Like this whole experience is really incredible. How old was your mom at this time?
I think she was in her mid-30s.
Okay.
I have to say her mid-30s. She wasn't too, she started having kids when she was pretty young. And so it wasn't, she was probably in her mid-30s, but she was beautiful. Oh my God, she was gorgeous. But she was, very modest and very sweet and, just all these things. But she, but she was getting freaked out by this stuff. And finally she decided to go and talk to a Baptist minister that we went to a Baptist church, and she went to him, and he said that it might be something like, physical, like maybe she should go see a gynecologist or something,
Oh, that's a 1965 answer. Oh, you're just having women issues. Go see a gynecologist. Go see one of those Dr. Women parts.
Exactly. You got the vapors or something. Come on. So she went to this, the doctor, and the doctor said, no, you're mentally ill here. You got to go see a psychiatrist. And so she went to a psychiatrist, and then she went to another one, and they were all prescribing, giving her pills or say, do this or do that. But she ended up going to this psychologist lady that worked out of her car. her name was Mrs. Roop, and she was great. She's just kind of a wacky lady that just was a freewheeling kind of psychologist. And she really helped my mom because she said, look, I've heard of these things happening with people. And there's a medium in St. Paul. We live in Minneapolis, and St. Paul's right across the river. And she said, you should probably contact her. And I bet you she could help you. And my mom felt great because, for one thing, she didn't have to get a pap smear, but she also felt like somebody listened to her, and so, but she wasn't going to call her, I don't think, initially, because she she didn't she grew up she was raised Catholic,
Yeah.
and so the whole side was like really bad. You just didn't do that stuff. But she comes home from going meeting Mrs. Roop, and she goes upstairs into her bedroom, and she used to collect Bibles, which I didn't know she did, but she collected Bibles, and they were all stacked up on her bed, just kind of in this weird little way. And she initially, I think, thought we had done it or one of us had done it or something, because when I got home from school, she yelled at me. She said, "Don't play with the Bibles, because there's always weird stuff going on in the house, and just don't do that." And I was like, "What Bible? What are you talking about?" But she yelled at all of us when we got home. But she put the Bibles away, and my dad was out of town on a business trip, and she made dinner, and we didn't talk about it. Then she went upstairs for something, and she screamed, and we all ran upstairs, and there were the Bibles stacked up on the bed again. Wow. And I remember thinking, "Oh, the Bibles, this is bad." I thought, "Oh, great, this is somebody's going to get possessed here." And I was 8 or 9 by that time, and I knew something was bad. So my mom decided to call up Mrs. Olson, and Mrs. Olson said, "Hey, come on in, bring your daughter Echo." And so they went, and that's when everything started. That's when the whole thing, just like the gates just opened wide. Because my mom kind of felt a connection to all this stuff, and it kind of gave her power, and she kind of came into her own with all this stuff, and she loved it. She loved everything about it, and so she started going. Back then you had to be like either mentally ill or have passwords or something to talk to a psychic. You just didn't. They weren't on every corner like now. No, you can't spit without hitting a psychic. But back then, it was very different. And so they would meet in these little weird places, like in basements of churches and little just strange liquor stores and stuff. And my mom found this group that were hanging out in this basement, and they were all really odd, eclectic people. They were just odd, and but they started coming to our house because they liked it, because it had heat, and it was nice, and central air. Yeah, it had heat. It was a nice house, and it had food, and so these people started showing up all the time, and that's how I grew up, was with all these psychics in the house. And a lot of them didn't know what they were doing. They were trying to figure it out too. They were trying to figure out, how to bend or spin and levitate, and do all sorts of meditate and turn into different channels, and everybody was learning. So it wasn't like there was an expert there. Well, actually, there was this one lady named Bertie who led the group. She looked like the sea hag. She had one tooth in her mouth, and she was probably like 80.
It's great for kids.
400. Yeah. Oh my God, she was scary, but she could read your mind, and she would cackle.
Wow.
She was scary, but she was really good, and she loved my mom, and my mom liked her. But it was a weird way to. That was how I was kind of brought into it. It wasn't something I would have pursued at all. I had a really hard time with it because it screwed up my life completely, because everything changed. My friends would come home from school and there'd be some hippie with a pyramid on his head or something, or you'd see a ghost, and it was hard to explain to people,
Right.
And I just didn't like it. And my dad was getting more and more irritated with these people, and finally at one point, I think I was probably 10. My dad and my mom were playing chess, and one of the chess pieces got up and moved and fell. And my dad said, "Screw it, I'm done. I'm out of here." And he left.
It scared your dad away.
Yeah, it scared my dad away. And he was a big, burly guy. Wow. He was like, "Screw it, I'm done." And so, but then when he left, it was like, then our gates really opened up. Then they started living in our house. And that's just the way it was. It was just, I didn't really like it all that much, but it was, what are you going to do? And I was the youngest, so I couldn't run away,
Right.
And so my opinion of psychics and all that stuff was not the best. I didn't want to be a psychic. And there was witches, different. It wasn't just psychics. It was like some of these people were like into black magic. Some of them were into witchcraft. Some of them were in the healings, and some of them were in the.
Remember, this is late '60s, so this isn't just your TikTok witches. No. This is some serious witches back in the '60s.
Yeah, there was this lady. I forget. Her name was Nonette. And she was scary. She looked like a witch, but she loved my mom, and her fingers were all arthritic and stuff like that. And she would teach my mom different, potions, or not like weird potions, but she was just a weird lady.
Yeah.
And one day I got in a fight with this kid at school. I have a tendency to get in trouble because of my
No,
mouth.
never.
And
Really?
yeah, 'cause I was rebellious. And so I got in a fight with this kid, and I came home and I was all mad, and I was going, God, I just want to just kill this guy. And she says, oh, honey, just give me a lock of his hair. I'll take care of it for you.
Oh.
And I was thinking, okay. And my mom was like, don't you even think about it, because that's the way she just would, your bowels would lock up for some reason, no reason. And it was just the way she was a creepy lady, but my mom, and she loved my mom.
Well, it was, that time period, they had a lot of, more women's liberation in the 60s and that, and what better way to get into witchcraft than the whole new age scene, total women empowerment there, And
they were a little pissed off, yeah.
Yeah. I said it's not like the TikTok witches cursing the moon here in modern days. These are some serious witches. No, don't mess with them.
Yeah, you hide your brushes when you're around those people. Yeah, you don't... They were serious.
I was gonna say one of the aspects of your childhood, I guess teenage years, that I thought was fascinating was your attachment, Jerry, that followed you. It was Jerry, right? Was the name?
Freaking Jerry. Okay. Yeah. So when I was a kid, like I said, there wasn't psychics everywhere, and they were it was very underground. So yeah. They would meet at these little places, and they were called camps, or I called them camps. So they were called psychic camp. And so, and each camp would have like a different theme. Some of it was talking to nature spirits, and so that's where I met the vampire people. But this one particular camp, and there was always in woods, and hidden someplace, and it was like you were a bootlegger or something. It was just always mysterious. But this one place, this guy, he drew pictures of your guides. Like, he was one of those, he would draw pictures of spirit. And he went over to my mom and said, hey, I want to I got a picture for your son. And I thought he was a perv right away, because I thought, oh yeah, right. You want me to get your tent, right? And then, because I didn't trust him. And,
come into my tent, child, is what I said last time. And I pictured my mom, come in my tent, child. Let me show you a picture.
And that, and his name might've been Chester too. I don't know, but it was, I just didn't trust it, but my mom was like, "Shut up, just go."
It was the '60s. Let your children go with a stranger into a tent. Go for it.
That's right. Bring some lube just in case.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I go in there, and he was very professional. He was very professional. He sat on the side, and he had this oil thing, and he wasn't taking a picture. He wasn't drawing a picture of me. He was drawing the picture of the person that was above me in spirit. And it turned out to be this guy named Jerry. He called him Jerry. And he was a kid that was my age.
Yeah.
And he said that this was a kid that was growing up with me on the other side, that he had died prematurely, and he wanted to grow up with me on the other side. And they called him a guide, but he really wasn't a guide. He turned out to be something else. But I had this physical picture of this kid, and I brought it home, and I had it on my wall, and it started off very simple, like just a picture, but then I swear this thing was talking to me. I swear this thing could, like, it was friendly, it was shy, he was gentle, he was sweet.
He reflected your age at that time too, right? He was supposed to be like probably like in spirit realm. He's like growing up with you, which I'll get to in a minute. Why I always found this fascinating.
Right, and so I didn't really believe in a lot of this stuff that was happening. Because I didn't want to, but I started to develop the idea of having a relationship with this guy, and then I started listening to, or I started hearing him. I swear to God, I could hear him, and I was okay with being schizophrenic, if that's what it was. But I swear I could hear this guy, and he would tell me about other people. He would tell me about my friends. He would say, "Oh, he's having a bad day because his dad's being really mean to him." And then I would say something to my friend like, "Hey, how's everything? Is your dad being a jerk again?" And the guy would go, "Yeah, how'd you know?" And little stuff like that. And then we started to kind of become more close, and he would help me with tests. I'd go to school, and he'd say, no, not that one, this one, and this one, and this one. And he would help me with girls. I was just a kid, and I would just learn how to be around girls, and he would help me be around them. And so I was really liking it. I was starting to like it. And But my friends that were coming around were getting kind of creeped out by this because they swear that his face would move towards them if they didn't like him, if he didn't like them, and they were complaining about this or that, or they would
see him, right? If I remember right.
They would see him. Yeah. So this one tough guy, he's a seriously tough guy. His name was Bucky. He was, I love him to death, but he was scary. I mean, he could beat up he'd beat up schools. This guy was tough. And he was walking home with his friend, and he had an argument not with me necessarily, but with some people at the house, because everybody started living at my house, and we had kind of a falling out. He had a falling out with somebody at the house, and so he went back to his house. He was walking down the street with this guy, and somebody tapped him on the shoulder, and he turned around and he said to me, I wasn't there, but he said it was Jerry. And they said he got so freaked out that they both saw him standing there. And so they started running to his house, and they said that Jerry just kept following him all the way up to the house. Which I don't know. There was a lot of drugs back then too, so you never know.
Yeah.
But
it was the 60s.
Yeah, it was. So I can't say for certain, but he was dead serious.
Yeah.
And like I said, he was living with us off and on because he had some problems at home, and he wouldn't live with me after. He wouldn't live at that. He wouldn't come to the house anymore after that because he was so afraid of Jerry. And but it just kind of it developed into, and plus I started doing a lot of drinking and a lot of drugs back then.
Yeah.
And so Jerry would kind of just jump inside of me. I could feel him jump inside of me. Yeah, no. And then I'd wake up and I'm standing on a roof, just about to jump. And I'm thinking, what the hell am I doing here?
Like you black out, wake up on the roof.
Yeah, bad stuff, but it was, according to Bertie, it was Jerry's way of just kind of experiencing life. And I gave him permission to do that. Yeah. But like I said, we were just learning stuff, we didn't know anything. And so finally, there was a point where he was getting more and more negative. He was doing more and more damaging stuff to the house. He was freaking more and more people out. And Bertie came up to me and said, we have to get rid of Jerry. And so we did this ceremony, and we burnt the picture, and we did all this, and we kind of exiled him. He didn't go to the other side, I don't think, because he hasn't. But he turned out to be a pretty dark guy.
Yeah.
Pretty, he wanted to keep doing the drugs and the drinking. I stopped when I was really young. I stopped when I was 14, and he wanted to keep going.
So
and,
the age from when was the first time you were introduced to Jerry, when that psychic took you and showed you the picture? What age were you?
I probably 10.
So
probably
from 10 to 14, you were having this friend, a spirit on the other side.
My buddy, yeah.
Yeah. And around 14, you had like what you said. I think you said what, an exorcism.
Yeah, it was basically an exorcism, and I had to participate because I had the relationship with him. I was the one that was allowing him to jump in my body and all that stuff because I wanted him to feel stuff. And so I had to have the whole exorcism thing.
So why I was fascinated with that is my mom, when I was a kid, I know I've told the story a billion times, but I'd love your take on it in comparison. When I was just a little guy, I don't know how old I was probably 1 or 2, or no, I was probably 2 or 3 maybe, I don't know. I was already talking, and I have memories of this, but my mom would ask me, who are you talking to in the apartment? I said, little girl. My memory, I remember playing with a little girl at this apartment, and there was also a boy that lived there. He was real, but I remember the boy and the little girl, and I remember the little girl being in the apartment. My mom's like, no kids ever played in our apartment, and there was no little girl. But she went to this psychic.
Oh.
She went to the psychic at this time this was going on, and she told her a lot of things that she would have no way of knowing. And she had told her, and the little girl your son talks to or plays with is your unborn daughter, because she had a previous marriage and she miscarried before I was born. And I remember this dark-haired girl in a white dress playing with her. My mom says it's just my reverse memory of her telling me this story and me reverse. I'm like, no, when we first talked about this, I remember a little girl. I thought in my mind I had a little girl I played with there at that time and a little boy. But the little boy, like I said, was a real little boy. And I remember being in the apartment with a little girl, and I remember, my mom telling me, we got to go, and I'd be like, bye-bye. Like she was just normal to be there. And and I've had other psychics tell me, you do have like this girl around you. And I've even had one kind of almost nail on the head once say, it's like a sister or some kind. So I don't know if she's still around or not. I had my son, but she never aged. I don't know how much she aged. I don't know if she aged with me or not, but my son, I'm getting some echo. It might be your volume going up. My son, when we do live ITC experiments on the show, Spirit Box.
Yeah.
And when I first was getting ready to do this show, figuring out how can I do it live, I was experimenting with ITC because I really don't experiment with it except on live on the show. But it was the day I was getting ready to start doing this. And I'm experimenting with it, and I had a couple people on. I don't know, Jamie, if you were on for this one. Or I think you were. Yeah, you were there with me. We were experimenting. I said, hold on a second, guys. I have a weird feeling. I stopped. Jamie's nodding her head because she remembers this. I ran upstairs. Yeah, and my son was hiding under the table. And I'm like, what's wrong? And I had a weird feeling. There was nothing. I didn't hear any noise or anything. I just had this weird feeling. I went to check on him. And he goes, there was an old man with glasses and a girl in a white dress just here. And he's hiding under his table. And I found that interesting because the girl in the white dress could be her. And I also had what I call a shadow person experience when I was in my teens, something negative, kind of like yours, that followed me home and terrorized me for 4 months. That's a whole other long story. And I was saved by a relative, I believe. It was a great-grandfather of mine who had a white shirt on and suspenders and glasses. And when I asked my son, give me more, what did the guy look like? He said he had belts on his shirt. I'm like, oh, geez, this is exactly what I saw when I was like 18, and I saw this thing save me from this shadow person in my room. I know, a lot of story here. But you have people that are around you. One would be my great-grandfather who's deceased, but one, an unborn child that's on the other side going along with me. These spirits sometimes are unborn spirits.
Exactly, yeah. That happens a lot. Like, okay, so when I do readings for people, I can tell when a person's going to get pregnant pretty soon because you can see the spirit that's around them, that's waiting, to go through them. And so, I could whisper pregnancy and they'd get pregnant because the spirit's that close. They're very anxious to go through. So, yeah, I agree.
I mean, another experience of that is I saw my son before he was born, my youngest son, Liam. And I know
nice.
Yeah, it was right before I was getting ready to move out of my parents' house, get married. I was going to get married in a couple weeks, and I was getting ready to move out to get our first place with my wife. And I was sitting on the couch, middle of the day. My parents' house is not haunted, even though I brought stuff home. So this could have been something I brought home, but it was middle of the day. I got this warm, loving feeling, just like the feeling I had when I was saved from the shadow person. This warm, loving feeling. And I saw this maybe 8 to 10-year-old boy, translucent though. But I could see his features and his face, and he smiled at me, and I was not scared. I just felt this warm, loving feeling, totally conscious and awake, was not dreaming. He was there, he smiled at me, and then he was gone. And I'm like, wow.
Well, no, you know this guy. You know this.
When my son was born, when he was born, I was there in the room, and they took him up and put him up next to my wife, and he smiled. And I knew right then that was the same smile, that even that little baby smiling. He smiled at me. I even took a picture of it. I'm like, that was him. That was that boy. And as he's gotten older, he's 6 years old, he's more and more looking like that boy that looked at me and smiled.
Right. Well, no, I think you probably have known each other before. And it's like I think that's why he chose to come through, you being a dad, because you guys know each other.
Yeah.
There's a history with you two, It's a different kind of relationship, just a normal kind of relationship.
It's a strange relationship at times. He's not talking to me right now because he's grounded, but
right. But he would, it's just like friends too. When you have friends that you've known forever, you're going to have disagreements about stuff. But I think he has, I think he chose his best route to learn the stuff that he's supposed to learn through you, that through your family. Because I think he would have a harder time later on in life without that connection that you guys have, whatever it is.
One of my thoughts.
It's just a different thing.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jamie.
Was it him or Dean that said they chose you?
That was Liam. He told my wife too that he also chose us.
Well, yeah.
So yeah,
he did. Because you guys were the best chance, and plus he knew you. It's like going back with some old friends. I don't think he necessarily likes it here, but I think
no, he would say that too.
He's going to make the best of it. The people are weird here, man.
Yeah, he's definitely a different child. I'll tell you that. One of the things I found interesting
don't you love those kinds?
Yeah. One of the things I found interesting about your encounter with Jerry too is the possibility. I don't know what your thoughts are on this. Is like, because I also think of it. I'm a big fan of Stephen King's The Shining. And
I love that movie.
You remember Tony, his little imaginary friend? But it wasn't imaginary.
Right.
And there's intuitions in that storyline that Tony was really his psychic abilities. It wasn't even a real thing. And that makes me wonder, I mean, like Jerry was giving you information, stuff that you could do now without Jerry, but, is it possible Jerry was some kind of topa or psychic formation of your adolescence forming your abilities?
I would think so. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense to me. Yeah. But although, I don't do them as much now. I only do it when it's really bad, but I used to do a lot of Ghostbusters, like tons and tons. And I did one that was really dark, really, really bad. I mean, this place was, just dark. And he showed up.
Oh, wow.
I went into the bathroom to take a break, and I looked in the mirror, and there he was right behind me. And I was like, wow.
Did he look the same as he did when you last saw him, or did he age more?
He looked rugged. He looked sort of the same age, but he looked darker. He looked older because he looked darker. But he looked a little, maybe in his early teens, but he was angry. It was like, of all the people that would come here, you would come here, because we both didn't like this stuff. We both thought it was really stupid, the whole psychic stuff. And so he was like, you sell out, you idiot, you actually got into this stuff, blah, blah, blah. So he was mad at me. And plus he didn't want me to be there because he was the one that was causing all the problems in this place. And of all the people that came, I was going to be the one that he didn't want to deal with. And so he was pissed about that. But he started working on my, the whole sellout thing. And you're actually a psychic. Oh my God, what happened to you? But he was dark. Yeah, he was pretty dark.
I mean, the fact that he wanted to live through you vicariously, in a sense, or possess you, that's pretty bad. We talk about on the show how many people are living with spiritual, friends, significant others. I mean, there's the whole spectrophilia thing. There's relationships people have with spirits that are just, they would never tell others.
Right. It's hard to explain to people. It's really hard to explain to people. But it's a lot more common than you think. I think it's a lot more common with women to have like intimate relations with male spirits. I've seen a couple people, males, having a relationship with female spirits, but it's not even. When I first started learning about this stuff, I thought it was pretty unusual. But then, as I've gotten into it more and more, it seems actually kind of almost normal in a way. They're shy or they're quiet, and they see this spirit that's not scary, and it becomes friendly, and they start to become more friendly and start discussing things. And next thing you know, Jed's a millionaire, and they're involved with each other, and then it's a problem. But it happens a lot. But how do you explain it to people? Because you sound crazy when you explain it.
I just recently had somebody inquire, I won't say who, about coming on the show to talk about spectrophilia, and I turned it down because I didn't feel like they took it serious enough, or maybe glorifying it, which I didn't want to do, because I mean I've had people call into the show with traumatic experiences, really
that's
traumatic.
Something you just don't want to go into. I mean that's a pretty intimate stuff thing.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable, and I have very little boundaries, so. For me, it's even uncomfortable to go there. It's a very, it's a tough one. It's tough because people, they need to talk about it so that it can be pulled out. But it's really hard to approach.
You said you've had men that have had this. I mean, I will admit, most of the time I get a call. I did have a guy call in recently, and I was waiting to mute him or cut him off because I didn't know if he was joking, but he was serious. He was really scared.
Yeah.
He woke up.
Exactly.
He woke up in a rape position. I mean, literally, something happened. I mean, so when you've had men encounter, what has it been like for the men? Because you talk about incubus, succubus, so we know it can get to men, but you just don't hear about it as often.
Right. So the very first time it happened to me, and I had the same reaction you did. I was like, yeah, whatever, dude. I got called on this ghost busting by this landlord. This lady said that her tenant, who had lived up north Minnesota, gotten a job in the city and was living there, and was a very quiet, unassuming guy, big guy, 6'4", lumberjack looking guy.
Yeah.
But he got a job in the city, and he didn't talk. He didn't really socialize very much. He kept to himself. But the spirit showed up in his house, and at first he was kind of scared, but then it was a very sweet woman, this very nice, unassuming woman, and they started to talk to each other, somewhat like what was happening with Jerry and I, and they started to build this relationship, and over, I guess, maybe a year, maybe a little more, they became more and more close, and he said that they actually had been intimate many times.
Yeah,
and actually it made him want to have sex with somebody with skin. He was thinking, hey, maybe my confidence was getting up. Yeah. So, and that's when the problem started. Is when he brought somebody home. That's when the spirit got very upset, and he said was physically abusing him. Which at that point I was like, come on, dude, seriously, you're a big guy. How is that possible? And he says, oh, she's here, and she's mad. And when he was saying that stuff, it reminded me of performance artists. I thought, oh, please, where's the popcorn? I just didn't believe him.
Right. And you also have to be worried that this guy's got a psychological condition.
Exactly. I know. I thought, I thought he could have gone off any minute. But my sister Echo, who is very sweet and believes in everything, was like, oh, honey, that's really hard. And I'm like I'm practically detaching my retinas from rolling my eyes. And finally, he goes into the kitchen, and I follow him in the kitchen, and I just wanted to talk to him privately. Like, dude, if this is just a performance, okay. We don't charge. It's not like it's It's okay to be mentally ill. And so I'm talking to him in the kitchen, and he goes, no, she's here, and she's really pissed. And all of a sudden, he thrust himself back against the refrigerator, like somebody's pushed him in there. And I didn't see anything, and I thought, oh, come on. And then he moved his head back and forth like he was being slapped. And I said, come on, seriously, you got to stop. He goes, no, she's really mad. And then he grabs his chest. And he goes, oh, stop. You said you weren't going to do this anymore. And I said, okay, stop. What is going on? Because I thought he was just having a psychotic breakdown. But then I start seeing these fingerprints on his face. I could see like marks on his face, on both sides of his cheek. And then he shows me his chest, and he's got scrape like on his chest, like somebody clawed him on his chest. And then I thought, oh crap, this guy's serious. But it was only until then that I took it seriously. And then we had to get to work. And I was like, oh crap, this guy's not crazy. And it turned out, she got really upset when he brought people home, and they were in a very intimate relationship. So I couldn't just tell her to leave because she wasn't going to listen to me. She could care less about me. So it took all night, but it took a long time for me to believe that it was. But it was plain as he was really scared. He was truly scared, and but we worked it out. But it just took forever, to get it all resolved.
Sometimes I wonder with those kind of cases like that.
Then there was a couple other times.
Well, I said sometimes I wonder if it is actual spirit attaching to a person, like a previous human that died, or if it's something else. People talk about through history and time, incubus, succubus, sex and sexual energy. I mean, it's an energy.
Sure, yeah.
And something can feed off that. And this is something else posing as a feminine, to get this energy from them. And this, another person, just like another woman, would, be a threat to it maybe. I don't know. But who knows? Right. I mean, I had my encounter with a dark entity. It wasn't sexual in any way. It was more mental, like try to screw me up and torture me. But like I said, I feel like there's lots and lots of people that, this are being affected. When people are like, oh, what are you talking about? This is crazy. I swear there are tons of people this is happening to across the world, and they don't tell us so because who's going to believe you? No. I know that feeling. Who's going to believe you on this? Right.
And that whole thing was really good for me because I had such a bad attitude about things, and that poor guy, for whatever it was, it could have been it could have, like you said, but there's a lot of places that I've gone that people were just crazy. They were just.
Oh, in this field, you're going to run across.
They were just nuts. Yeah, and but this was definitely real, and I think you're right. I think it could be all sorts of different things, but that's it. And with now psychics out there, and with more people practicing it, more and more experiences are happening. There's more and more ghost stuff happening. There's more interest on the other side because all of a sudden all these telephone lines are open, and so there's more people talking.
I know people are listening. I'm like, well, he's a psychic. He should have known right away if this was a spirit. Your main ability isn't like mediumship. It's seeing the future.
No. Mediums. No, I'm not a medium kind of guy. Yeah, I'm a future guy. I'm a pretty bad, I'm just a pretty regular psychic. I'm not that great. I like the reason I got into the future is because I could tell if I was wrong or not, and I wanted to prove myself wrong the whole time. And if I say something's going to happen and it doesn't, then I can say, well, I'm not a psychic. And that was my plan. I had no interest in talking to dead relatives or, for who cares? But some people really like that stuff. Some people like talking to your relatives and, all that stuff. Or some people find things, or some people find dead bodies and stuff. That's a terrible job because, at the end you find this body. It's like gross, but some people are into it. Some people are into past lives. And I just, I don't know that I like stuff that I can actually see that works. And so, yeah, I hear that stuff all the time with the psychic stuff. I just want to punch them in the throat whenever they say stuff like that.
Well, everybody's got different abilities. I've had a lot of different mediums, psychics. They all have their different fortes and abilities, and I've had a few that their fortes, like yours, is the future, predicting the future. I've had my experiences. I believe in the possibility of it. I mean, I know I've seen things before they've happened. I predicted things. I've had a lot of experiences to know that people can do this. But I also, just my theory of the universe kind of is that, I don't believe in predestination. I don't know if you do. I've had one psychic on who predicted the future that did.
No. How can you? Because I think it's all personal choice. Like, okay, somebody comes to me and I can tell that there's a person coming down the pike, a relationship possibility. Now, the way that I base my prediction is that whether I think the person's going to take that. But they can do whatever they want. But I have to take into account how they're feeling, if they're feeling lonely, if they're feeling amorous, if they're feeling ready for a relationship. And if all those things add up, then I just assume that they're going to. So that's how I make my prediction is, this person's coming, you're really going to like this. But then, they could decide not to like that person. They could decide, screw it. So it's not, everything is not carved in stone, at least in my opinion. But
what Jamie commented here in the chat room is free will. We have to have free will. If everything is predestined, is what my comment was. This one psychic I had that believed in predestination. I'm like, then it would mean life is useless. Everything's predestined. Nothing you can do to change it.
Exactly. And stop that. Come on. It's all about free will, and because that's how we're here to learn. Because we're going to make really stupid mistakes, and everybody is here to learn. There's not one person that's better than anybody else or whatever. I mean, you can go down the line with all these famous, really great people, and they're still got tons of stuff to learn. I mean, Gandhi loved the Nazis, for God's sake. There's always something that people are here to learn. There's a balance, and
Gandhi gets to the afterlife. You're like, you did really well, but the Nazi thing,
you might want to lose the swastika.
Yeah. But nobody's perfect, right? It is I do believe it's
exactly,
learning
but that's
lesson.
The point.
Yeah, I also, for me, it's the future. Yoda's from Star Wars, big Star Wars fan. The future is always in motion. Is one of my favorite lines. He said, and I think of the prequel series. He said that in Empire Strikes Back. Sorry, but anyways, the future is always in motion. That's what I believe for psychics. You can see certain paths are unfolding, but you can't see what choices somebody's going to make on that path.
Right. You go with what you think is the best. What's the best possibility with that stuff? Or at least I do. And but I know that it's if we screwed up on a lesson, like if we haven't learned our lesson, we tend to go back and repeat those things until we get it straight. What Earth reminds me of is like dum-dum school. It's like where you flunk driver's ed and you have to go back. It's like that because some of the stuff that you have to learn is so basic stuff, and it's a lot of it's emotional stuff, but. It's like we're just because in my life I've seen things repeat. The racism stuff. I thought everything was going to be really groovy in the '60s, and then we're still dealing with all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's like there's just these things that just keep repeating themselves, and it's interesting to me because I don't.
You described it as dum-dum school. It definitely feels like that lately.
Well, yeah. School. I mean, doesn't it? Can you believe just how stupid people are?
Yeah, I can't. I'm shocked every day. I mean, I'm not the smartest person in the world either, but some of the stuff people,
me neither.
That's why I was talking at the beginning of
Yeah.
the show. Like they asked the New York gubernatorial race for primaries of these politicians if they believe in ghosts. And I'm like, oh, we'll just wait for this, dumb answers to be provided, or non-answers, which it was. But
Right.
just how these stupid questions like, who's your favorite superhero? I was like, this is why I hate
Right.
politics, because there's nothing really serious anymore. These are like celebrities, and people are so stupid on either side. I don't even want to go on
Oh, I
social media to
agree.
see any of it.
I know. I tend to just, it's difficult for me. It depresses me when I look at some of the social media because I just realize how unevolved a lot of us are, including me, because I get in there, I start getting pissed off about
Yeah, I
my
can be just as
position.
stupid as anybody else. I'll admit it.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not evolved. And that bothers me because I wish I was more evolved.
Right.
But you know what also? It's like when you get evolved, then you die, then you're dead. And I don't want to die yet, so I'm going to stay stupid until
Stay
until the last
stupid
day.
to
Then
be.
I'll
Gotta be
evolve.
stupid to be here, right?
You
I was
do.
stupid.
Haven't
No.
you noticed? Like,
She should be pointing at me.
There's a lot of people. Yeah, I mean, like people like Malcolm X, like that kind of guy. That all the transformation that he went through. I mean, and then he finished it, and then he was gone. I mean, that happens. That happens a lot. And,
Yeah, the good ones always go.
Those. Yeah, I know. I love that when a person goes through these transformations like that, where they see things in a different side, and I mean, that's just cool. But not many people do that.
We're going to be going to commercial break here in a minute. Before we do, we are going to open up the phone lines when we come back. You said you're cool doing some mini readings for people, and I have to say mini readings because I know for you, you do a lot of phone readings for people, but we have limited time. So what do you want from the audience to know for the call in? What should they prepare for?
I just need if they have a question, if it's like, what's the meaning of life or my life? That's a tough
Answer's 42.
question to answer, and yeah, exactly. It is 42. But if they need a specific question, just ask me the specific question because I don't. It's like walking into a restaurant going, give me what you got. That's just dumb.
Well, yeah, I think we had that last time you were on. Somebody called in. They're like, "Oh, just tell me what you read," and you're like, "No." Have a question in mind before you call in, guys, or a focus for Michael. I know a lot of people are like, "You're psychic. You should know what my question is," but you're not the only psychic. I do think you have to have some kind of focus or energy of what they're looking for.
Right. And maybe I suck as a psychic, so I need a little help.
But mainly what you tell people is generally their path. I used to do tarot readings, and I have on the show a little bit. I suck at it, but as I see tarot, even when I read the tarot, as I see it as the most likely path you're on right now. But that doesn't mean this is your future set in stone in any such way.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But when I do tarot, I always ask the person, he's like, what's your intent for this? What do you want out of it? What are you looking for? Even if they don't tell me, I just said, you need to know. Like, what are we looking for here? You don't even have to tell me, but we have to have some kind of focus or we're not going to get anything.
Right.
So
exactly.
Think about what you want to call in tonight, guys. We are going to go to commercial break now, and we will open up the phone lines when we come back. Now, there are only going to be 2 phone lines, I think, tonight would be and I'll give them out when we come back from the commercial break. Usually I have Rob reading it off in a clip, but I think it'll only be 2 lines because I got Michael now on the other line. We had trouble with StreamYard. But when we come back, I'll give out those phone lines, and we'll talk more with Michael Bodine, psychic, author of Growing Up Psychic, From Skeptic to Believer, and A Psychic Life, what it is really like, when we come back from the short commercial break.
Conducting an experiment into the combined effects of sensory deprivation and hallucinatory drugs. The subject of the experiment, is himself. And the experiment is out of control. Ken Russell's Altered States, a film that must not be missed, is in the West End now. Altered States, Certificate X.
Do you wish for more paranormal and spiritual content? The Paranormal Chronicles magazine is a free digital magazine crammed with the very best in paranormal and spiritual articles and features. No sign-up, no subscription, just free reading and knowledge for you. Read today at www.paranormalchronicles.com/magazine.
Oh, come on. I'm Southern, but... Nope.
That'll do. Hello. I am Kat Hobson, host of Paranormal Experience here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. I enjoy having guests from all areas of the paranormal, from ghosts to ufology to cryptids and beyond. You'll find some of the best researchers in their fields bringing you some great information. Join me on Wednesday nights from 8 to 10 p. Eastern here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday, the live stream, with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do Voices from Beyond, the Cold Case Files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Nation magazine is a new paranormal magazine based out of Denver, Colorado. Our goal isn't just to give you the best paranormal content out there, but to promote paranormal unity. We're doing this by giving everyone an opportunity to tell their stories and to share their experiences. For more information, follow us on Facebook at Paranation Magazine and soon, paranationmag.com.
I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like is the extraordinary travels of a young, alone, and broke psychic in the highly anticipated new book from internationally renowned psychic, medium, medical intuitive, and best-selling author Sherry Dillard. Critics have described I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like as an engrossing memoir, an empowering story of how a broken girl came to accept her psychic gift, a refreshing and fun read. I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like is available through Amazon, Kindle, Barnes & Noble, and wherever books are sold.
Edgar Allan Poe wrote Spirits of the Dead with a pen dipped in warm blood. You will see the ultimate in terror with this important all-star cast. Brigitte Bardot, Alain Delon, Jane Fonda, Terence Stamp, and Peter Fonda in Edgar Allan Poe's Spirits of the Dead. Only Poe's demented genius could bring to the screen such horror and evil. Spirits of the Dead stars Brigitte Bardot, Alain Delon, Jane Fonda, Terence Stamp, and Peter Fonda. Directed by three masters of the cinema, Federico Fellini, Louis Malle, and Roger Vadim. Spirits of the Dead is an adventure in terror beyond your wildest nightmares. Spirits of the Dead in color is rated R.
The answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything is 42. Yes. Yes, I thought it over quite thoroughly. It is. It's 42. It would have been simpler, of course, to have known what the actual question was.
But it was the question. The ultimate question. Of everything.
That's not a question. Only when you know the question will you know what the answer means.
Tonight's guest is psychic Michael Bodine. He is the author of Growing Up Psychic from Skeptic to Believer, A Psychic Life, What It's Really Like. We've had him on the show about almost a year ago, and I love his energy. He really, as a psychic, he focuses on future readings, or future possibilities, we'll say. So if you call in tonight, make sure you have a particular question in mind for Michael to look into. You know, if you're worried about a new job or you want to move to or think about a purpose or an intent, because that'll help get him in the right direction. The phone lines tonight are limited too, because we couldn't get Michael to work right on StreamYard, so I got him on my other phone line on my Skype ID. The Paranormal Soup J Bland is offline tonight because I got Michael on there, but the OO J Bland OO Skype line is open. That's OO JBLAND OO. That's the Skype ID. Look me up on there if you're doing Skype. The phone number, which I've had trouble with, is 219-230-4444. If you call in and it hangs up on you, I will try to call you back. If you call in and it hangs up on you and I don't call you back, means I got somebody else on the line, and just hold on there. I might call you back after that person comes up, or try calling in again. I have a rigged, I don't have a professional phone line set up. It's just phones hooked up into mixing boards. But I only got the two lines on one phone tonight, so just be patient with me. We will try to get your calls in, but let's go ahead and get back to our guest. You still there with us, Michael?
I sure am. How you doing?
Doing good. So hopefully we get these phone lines working tonight.
Yeah, let's just see what the hell.
Yeah, hopefully this works. I've had issues, but I didn't want to put you on the other line because I felt like sometimes the Skype goes bad on that one after it's been on for a while. So it's about you. Want to keep you on.
Isn't that just weird?
Yeah, technical problems. Mercury in retrograde or something. I don't know. I don't know if I ever asked you last time, if you had any feelings about me or my future. I don't know if we got to that. I don't remember. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe you had nothing. I don't remember. Not to put you on the spot, but I was wondering.
You know, I think I did. I think I think I did. I think they wanted you to go bigger with some stuff, and it was kind of funny because they were yelling at me about you. I think the last time we talked, and then I saw a squirrel and I forgot. So it was. It was something though. It was something to do with about that, and you know, you could keep doing what you're doing, and you know, it'll be great. But it was that they were.
I think I remember now.
You know, they were trying to
get me to do more.
Yeah. Well, they wanted you to go bigger. I know that, but they were a little more specific than that, and that's general.
I'll have to go back and look. I'll have to go back and listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. Now that sounds familiar. That's why I haven't gone bigger, right? Because I didn't listen.
Was it a book, maybe?
No, but.
Huh? Jamie?
Yeah, it was like a book. It was like something like that. It was like doing where they need you to write, you know, stuff, but you're kind of a pain in the ass to do that with. So they were going to try and push you to do it, and you know, I know what that's like. These two books almost killed me because I swear I can't concentrate on anything.
Yeah, I've had the writing bug at times. It's all fiction stuff, but
dude, oh my God. See, you're at least smarter than I am. You know that you're supposed to be doing that stuff. I was just stupid. I knew I was supposed to, but
that's how I feel when I'm writing. I feel stupid. I'm like, this is garbage, and I give up on it. That's how
you're like
my worst
you're
critic.
a way better writer. No, and you know when I did my book, people were like, "Oh, dude, you suck as a writer. You're like the worst writer I've ever seen." But I was so my dead guys were yelling at me so much they didn't care. You know, they just like, no, just keep going. So I did.
We do have somebody on the line. I think he called in last time you were on. He always has great guests. I'm sure he did because he calls in there. He's been calling in for years. He's one of my favorite callers. Is Zach? How you doing tonight, Zach?
Still trucking along, brother. How you doing?
Doing good. Hey, I'm glad you called in. I want to let you know yours is the next ITC call I've been working on. I was going to work on it on the morning of my birthday last Friday, and then I had a water heater blow. so I'm a little behind. I'm hoping I'm going to get to finish it tomorrow. That's what I'm hoping, but there's some interesting stuff in there.
That was your water heater's way of saying happy birthday to you.
Right? It was. I fixed it on my own. So with some help from other people like my dad and and my father-in-law give me advice, and my grandfather. But I did it. Well, Zach,
Wow,
thank you for calling in tonight. So what's your question for our guest?
I just would like a mini reading, if possible, on this. Hey, Michael, it's very nice to meet you, sir.
Zach, how are you? Nice to talk to you. How's life?
Life is eventful, my friend. Okay, so a lot of people know exactly what's been going on the past week. My fiance's mother, unfortunately, was struck by a car in a hit and run last week, so she's been in the hospital now.
What's her first name?
Her first name is
your mother-in-law.
Gail.
Gail. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, she's not. Yeah. Gotcha. She's not scheduled to die. In other words, I don't. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, that goes along with my question. Is just really, will she make this through? Okay.
Well, it's tough because her soul is kind of in negotiations. Like her soul doesn't want to go through the recovery part of it. So sometimes they do a little negotiation stuff. And so she doesn't want to stay. I mean, she wants to stay for different reasons, but it's tough because the recovery is really going to, I don't want to say it's really going to suck, but it's not going to be easy. And there's some permanent issues there that it's like looking down and going, oh man, do I want to jump in that car? And it's one of those things. I don't think she's going to, I think she's going to live. It's if I had to do a percentage, I would say 90-10 that she's going to stay, even though it sucks for her to stay. It's she's out of her body now anyway, but she's God. So if I would put money on her. It's tough. Boy, she's not really that happy about the process of the recovery. The recovery is going to suck, but she's got a lot of people trying to convince her to stay though. So I think that they're trying to I think they're trying to convince her to stay. And I think she will. God, I think she will. Yeah, it's tough though. I mean, it's tough because this was but the funny thing too is not funny, but the ironic thing is that when she does, if she decides to stay, which I think she will, then the recovery isn't as bad. It just looks bad. But it's not. She's got a lot of help, and I think that's one of the things they're negotiating with her right now. Is like that if she decides to stay, that they will help her with the recovery. So I think, it's not. It will. But I don't know. Boy, she's tough. She might not want to come back. Yeah. I know that's about as helpful as a rubber crutch. But in my mind, I think she's going to stay. But even when I say that, I'm like, yeah. Yeah, but it's tough because the damage to her is pretty bad.
Yeah, that is. It's not a whole lot that I can talk about right now at the moment, but she's a fighter and all that. I will say that, and she's pretty stubborn, so she's going to be putting up as much of a fight as she can. But Michael, thank you very much for the reading.
Well, they wanted her to just take a pause before she decided to go, so they're not. Her body's on hold until they make a decision. It's one of those kind of weird things, because you'll know when she makes the decision because it's going to go bad really fast, or all of a sudden you'll notice this marked improvement. I know that sounds stupid, but it's like really true. Like, yeah, and so you'll see, but it's just kind of on hold until but she's in the process of making that decision now. It's just looking down and thinking all the work that she has to do, but they are going to help her with it. So don't give up hope, really don't, because it's like I say, I think she's going to do it, but
future's emotion.
It's a tough one, but yeah, honest to God, buddy, I'm sorry you have to go through this, but she can hear you guys, by the way, too. I mean, she's right. I mean, she can hear you. She's right there.
Yeah, we saw her in the hospital today, and we definitely saw signs that she could hear us and all that when we were talking to her. So
that's the thing that's bothering her is the uncomfortability when she goes into her body. It's very uncomfortable because she's paralyzed and she's all this stuff, and it's like and that's the thing that freaks her out, and she's afraid of being cuffed and being restricted. But they're going to work with all that stuff with her. So but I think she's going to decide to do it. I really do. Yeah, I do.
Thank you once again, Michael, for that reading. I do greatly appreciate it, man, and I love your energy and everything that you're talking about. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks. That was very nice of you. Thanks.
Thank you, Zach, and prayers for your family.
I appreciate it, brother. Have a good night, everybody.
You too, bud. All right. Phone lines are, like I said, 219-230-4444 or Skype ID OOJBland00. That was Zach called in on Skype there. That's the easiest way. If you have Skype, just look me up on Skype ID OOJBLANDOO. That's the easiest way to call in front of the right. That's not the
What
right.
a sweet soul that Zach is.
He's
Isn't that
always
nice?
got great questions too when he calls in for guests. So.
Well, he's got a sweetness to him, you know. He's got he's got a sweetness to his little soul. That's nice.
But you hear a lot of people's near-death experiences. We've had guests on that've had near-death experiences and callers, that they are when they're in that, suffering, they're badly injured, they're detached from it, and are in this place where they are almost like given a choice. Sometimes they're not. You hear stories where they're said, nope, it's not your time, you're going back. And they don't want to, like, I don't want to go back into that crushed body,
I know. I wouldn't want, yuck. Yeah. But, and that happened. Yeah. So, they're always approaching me to do these shows, right? And they want me to make people cry on camera. That's their big... And they want me to be like that Long Island medium that does these ambush readings, which are just so stupid. You're just not supposed to do that. It's just one of those rules you're not supposed to do.
I know.
But all these producers come up and go, hey, can you do this and blah blah blah, and I'm like, no. And so this one group of people came. I've done like 11 sizzle reels with different peoples, and this one group came and said, okay, we want you to do this, and they set it up so that I could make these people cry, and I got pissed and I was yelling at them, and we had this big blowout because these people that were coming, they were like plants, and I was yelling at them because I could tell that they were plants. And so the last day of shooting, everybody was pissed off. I was pissed off at them. They were pissed off at me, and they said, okay. How about we just bring in somebody that just doesn't believe in this stuff at all? And I said, fine. I don't care. Let's just do it. And you don't have to make them cry or anything.
Yeah.
Just give them a reading. So they set up the camera, and they brought the guy in, and it was funny because in this case, I could write, and I was mad, and I was just like, screw it. I'm going to tell him whatever I'll just, And so this guy sits down, and his guides show up, and they say, he's got like 2 weeks to live. And I'm like, what? And he said, yeah. So however you want to handle that. And normally I would be a lot more sweet and understanding and go, oh crap, buddy, you better pay in advance or, something. Just make it not so heavy. But I just said, okay, dude, you got 2 weeks to live. I mean, you may decide to live. You'll be in a coma for a little bit, but I think you're going to die. And so what are you going to do with this 2 weeks? And the guy starts bawling.
Well, yeah.
And he starts crying, and he's going on and on and on. And I said, well, what are you going to fix in 2 weeks? I mean, you got all these broken relationships with all these people, and he starts talking about all the things that he would change and the relationship with his family and what he would do with this, that, and all these other things. And then, okay, so we do the thing, and the producers were like, "Gold, that's golden, that's great." And
lick those tears of sadness.
Yeah.
Yes, tears of sadness.
Perfect. Yeah, and they were all excited, and I was like pissed. And I liked the guy; he was a nice guy. Well, 2 weeks later, the guy dies.
Oh.
He had some sort of embolism in his chest and in his lungs or something. And I said, it's something to do with his lungs or something. And anyway, the producers called me and said, "I got great news. The guy died."
Great news. Yeah, that's Hollywood scum.
I thought, yeah, exactly. And I thought, oh, really? But then it turns out that the people, and they had all the footage, and they had me saying, he's got 2 weeks, blah blah blah. And but then the people that the higher ups got freaked out because they thought, that if I'm predicting a person's death, that's evil, and they thought that I was evil for doing it, and they just didn't know how to reconcile that. So they weren't going to. They didn't know if they wanted to use me. So
or it's more like they're afraid about people like you maybe getting offended by it somewhat.
Right, probably, yeah, probably. But the good news is that they showed the film of that at the funeral. And it was like he was giving his own eulogy. He was talking to all the people in his life and saying, I'm really sorry I didn't do this, and I wish I would have done this. And it's like, it was great because it actually worked out for the best, because they actually got to hear this guy's words about the relationships that he's had and the mistakes that he wished he would have corrected and all that stuff. So it worked out great. And it was actually for a bigger purpose. So
his way to say goodbye.
His way of saying goodbye. But he had a choice whether he wanted to stay or go. And he said, no, I'm going to go. And because it was just, the recovery was just going to be too hard.
We do got somebody else. This is an example. I was not signed into it signs me out of my sideline number, the number that the 219-230-4444. So it was hanging up on people. I called somebody back, and if it does hang up on you, just be prepared, guys. I'll call you back. I got somebody 386 area code. Who do we got on the line?
Hi, Jason. This is Debbie.
Hey, Debbie. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, yeah, it's been a long
Hi,
time.
Debbie. How are you?
Hi, Michael. Nice to meet you. Hi, Jamie.
Nice to meet you, too.
I just was kind of wondering if I could get a mini reading on what's coming up for me. I've started 2 new courses, and I'm just wondering if I'm going in the right direction, what you see coming up for me.
Oh, for school? You mean 2 more courses in school or dinner?
Yeah, online.
Never mind.
Online courses?
Okay. Yeah. One is sound healing, and the other one is it's kind of like learning a different chakra each month and doing like a Kundalini awakening, but also learning the courses to help teach that to people in the future.
You gotta like a good Kundalini stuff. That stuff. That
really likes a good Kundalini.
Yeah, who doesn't like a good Kundalini? Yeah. With you, they've been waiting for you to do this stuff for a while, so that it's not. I hate to say it, honey, but that's just a stupid question. It's a dumb question because they've been waiting for you to do this for a long time. You're a little bit behind schedule, in fact. They're looking at their watches like, what the hell took her so long? So not only are you supposed to be doing that stuff, but you're supposed to be doing way more. It's like you're a 60-year-old and you're thinking, well, maybe I should go to school now. So you got some catching up to do. And they're going to be giving you the information fast and furious, but they don't want you to step in the way. They don't want you to second guess or, look at your feet. They just want you to absorb it as much as you can because they're going to be introducing other things to you really fast. So dumb question, because yes, of course you're supposed to be doing that stuff, but then you're supposed to even go further. And they're going to be opening up. And I know you're a little nervous about the whole thing and blah, 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 but honey, you've been sitting there forever and they've been waiting for you. And this it's not just something that you just woke up with. It wasn't, they've been talking to you about this for a while now. And I'm glad you're doing it. I am, but what the hell, so yes, you are supposed to do it, but it may feel a little bit dumb to you because it is kind of dumb for you because you're actually further along than you actually are. So you might get a little impatient with some of the people that are doing it because some of them are kind of stupid. But they just want you to kind of keep going with it because they're going to give you the information that you need to go to the next thing because you're behind schedule. So yeah, you got a lot of catching up to do, but they're going to help you with that as long as you don't sit and just second guess everything because they got some stuff. Especially they need everything set up by the fall because that's when another school opportunity is going to come and all that stuff. All this stuff already, honey, but you just gotta get that under your belt so that at least you're doing it. That's better. It's kind of like a really fat guy on a treadmill. At least he's on the treadmill. And so it's good that you're doing it. I'm glad that you're doing it, but it's not where you end up. It's just where you start. I guess is the best way to put it.
Okay, I'm getting more stuff in like telepathically and psychically.
Yeah.
Do you see any of that along those lines?
Honey, yeah, they're working on you at night. Yeah, they're working on you at night. They're hooking up your little tubes and stuff like that. They're wiring. It's like it's now that you're kind of slowly sticking your little anteater tongue out there and getting some stuff. They're going to start they're going to download as much as they can in you as fast as they can because you think a lot, and you get in your way. And so now you're just allowing it to happen. So now they're going to really just jam it in you. So the psychic stuff and all those bells and whistles are going to be hooked up relatively fast here. And if you trust it, it'll really help. You're going to be a little sounding crazy to your friends, but they don't care. They just, they want you to. You're going to be a little flaky at first, but you'll get used to it. It's just that it's like they're hooking up the stereos and everything's.
Kundalini energy is not something to play with. I will say that.
No, that stuff that can kill you. You know, if you do it wrong. And but you know, it's God's. It's kind of like God's way of thinning the herd too. You know, if you're stupid about it, you're
God's Darwin.
It's okay. yeah. But you can handle all that stuff. Yeah, you can.
Okay, good. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it very much.
Well, sure. When anybody says mini readings, I think I'm talking to a midget every time. I don't know why.
Well, I'm about 6 foot tall, so I'm not quite a midget.
No, I know, but no. I for some reason I always get that in my little head, like I'm talking to a little person when they say a little mini reading. Because I knew a girl that was very short. We used to call her Mini. I used to. Yeah, never mind. But
well, thank you very much, Mike. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jason and Jason.
Well, yeah, but just do it. Just do the stuff, and it's going to come fast and furious. Write the stuff down at night. Have something by your bed so you can write some of this, because they're going to come at you in your dreams. They're going to come at you in all sorts of different ways. You're not going to get a whole lot of sleep soul-wise just because they're really busy with you. But it's okay. You can handle it.
I don't remember most of my dreams, and I have a journal, like I have a notebook and a pen right next to my bed, but I
good.
And I know I'm stuff, but I just don't remember it when I wake up.
Yeah, even just a couple words here and there will really help.
Okay. I might try some mugwort. I've heard good things about that helping with dream recollection. So, like either a mugwort tea or just put it like in a little pillow and put it by your pillow and sleep.
Yeah.
It's supposed to help with dream recollection.
So I just like that word, don't you? Mugwort. What a great word.
And one thing you can do, which I've done, but I won't do because I have trouble falling back to sleep, is you can set an alarm in the middle of the night. If you wake yourself up in the middle of the night, good chances are you're going to wake yourself in the middle of a dream and you're going to remember it. It's a harsh way of doing it, but it does help start getting the wheels turning for it.
Yeah, that's intense stuff right there. Wow. I could never go back to sleep.
Yeah, sometimes you can't. That's the downside of doing that. Well, Debbie, thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
Well, it's nice
for
talking to
having me as a caller. I appreciate it.
All right.
Have a good night, everyone.
Yeah.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I found as I've gotten older, I mean, I used to have dreams where I'd see the future in my dreams. More than anything, where I've seen the future or had visions of the futures in my dreams. And, like, it'll be to the T stuff. You know.
Wow, cool.
You know, like, I've told a lot of these stories on the show before, but, somebody, was that? Hold on. Let's see.
We have Matt.
I saw Matt's trying to call in. Yeah, that's why I was checked my phone line because he said he was trying to call in.
Well, he sent you his number if you could call.
Oh.
Stop.
Let me see.
I put it in your regular chat also.
Oh, it's all.
No, who's this? Who's the female that's talking?
That's Jamie.
Jamie, how are you?
Usually you would see her, but we couldn't get the StreamYard thing to work.
Oh, dang. Well, how are you? Is everything good?
Everything's great.
I don't know if
I'm so glad.
Let me see. I'm trying to see if I can call Matt here, who's been trying, and I got Dan to call back. I saw Dan's trying to call in. Let me see if I can get Matt, because I know he's been trying to call in. What time do we got? We got time. All right, let's see. Let's see if I can get Matt if I got the right number. I don't know if it'll call out on this or not. We'll see. That number or not. We'll try. Hopefully I don't get the wrong number and be like, who is this? Let's see. Is this Matt?
Yes, it is.
Hey, Matt. I haven't heard from you in a long time.
Jason.
Yeah, it's been a while. How you been, bud?
I know, right? I've been going great. A lot of things have happened in my life. Let's just say that.
Are you on speakerphone?
No, I'm on my headphones.
Oh, okay.
It's annoying.
It's a little, just make sure you talk clearly in the headphone, but it has like a very bathroomy kind of sound.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm currently like right next to, let me go outside the room. Yeah. Okay, cool. Cool.
All right. So, yeah. So, yeah, it might be, just make sure you speak up a little bit and you speak clearly because sometimes those headphone mics aren't the greatest.
Okay, yeah. Do you hear me okay right now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, cool. So the question I was having is basically, I have a lot of dreams, and I'm trying to accomplish each one. But my biggest dream is involving being a documentary filmmaker, and I'm wondering if I will ever become successful at that.
I didn't hear it. I heard.
I know he's
What was your
trying
biggest dream?
His biggest dream is to become a documentary filmmaker.
Cool. What a great dream.
What I've seen with your work, you're really good at it.
Well, you know what they say? Like they say that like spirit like does what the opposite of what you think. Like you're gonna they plant the seed to like you're gonna you want a certain car because that's the car that you're gonna get. And like sometimes they plant careers because that's the career that you're gonna get. And that's what it feels like in your case. It's like it's not whether you're gonna be that, whether you're gonna do that. That's what you're actually gonna be. You just don't know it yet. It's like that's the one that's the path that they want you to go down. It's kind of a weird thing. It's like sometimes when like for instance, like I was saying, a car. You'll get this picture of a car and you think, oh, I really want that car. It's because that's the car you're going to get. And in your case, that's when you say that's a documentary kind of a guy, it's you already are that guy. It's just now you just
yes, I am.
It's just that you have to see it.
Is what I'm trying to get at. Successful doing it as my career is. I'm wondering if I'm ever going to get to that point. Is what
But see that, but that's my point. Is that you once you realize that's who you are, it's actually the success actually comes. It's like if you're still kind of wondering all that kind of stuff, that's when you're running into trouble. But if you understand that that's who you are, because honest to God, bud, that's who you are. That's really who you are. And once you get that in your head, then the success actually comes. It's right there. I mean, it's right there. And you got all the stuff that you need to do it. You got the eye, you got this division and stuff. And it's all there. It's just that they're trying to convince you. So you, by even you asking that question is kind of, it goes against, you can almost see your guides going, oh man, why is he asking that? Because they're trying to convince you that that's what you're here to do. Of course you're going to be successful. That's the answer. Of course. Yes. It's not even a question. But you have to get that. You have to see it.
I already kind of like know it within me. It's just that I have those doubts too, because you know how the world is. Sometimes you don't get your dreams to come true.
No, I know.
And so I'm like that's always in the back of my head. I'm like, what if I try all this time so hard and then it still doesn't happen?
Yeah, but see, that's the agreement. There's the dark side and there's the light side. The agreement is the dark side tries to stop you. It does whatever it can. It's just like that coyote cartoon, It chases after the thing, and that's its job. It's nothing personal. It's just the dark side's going to try and stop you from actually doing that. The light side says, yeah, use faith and trust, and you can have whatever you want. And it's those two things that you're always battling. And a lot of times the dark side wins because it puts in self-doubt and it says you can't do this, you can't do that, or people come in your life and they second guess you and all that kind of stuff. But it's nothing personal. It's just that's the job of the dark. And the more you go to try and do it, the more chances it's going to happen, the more the dark kind of gets in there and tries to stop you. Because it doesn't want you to be happy. Because it doesn't want you to go around telling other people that you could have whatever you want too. Because it goes against the grain. So what I'm saying is that it's actually a compliment that you're second guessing, because that means that the dark side is trying to stop you, because if you do become successful with it, then you'll go and help other people become successful in whatever they're doing. I mean, it's just the way life is. It's just the way it goes. But so yes, clearly you are. It's not even a question. But you got to get that through, and you're not going to waste all that time.
Yeah.
It's not. What else are you going to do?
Right now, I'm in the Marine Corps, so I joined for 4 years. I'm just doing 4 years. I've always wanted to do my service.
Right, but I mean, but is that something? But my point is that it's not going to have the same effect as if you were to be successful in this other thing.
Okay,
that's my point.
That's good.
So no matter what you did,
because
you will always regret it if you don't follow this thing. You will always regret it. I promise.
Oh yes, I'm not continuing with the Marine Corps. I just wanted to do my 4 years, but part of me was like, am I missing opportunities for doing that? Just even though it's only 4 years, did I do something to myself to where I'm going to miss an opportunity?
Did you screw it up? No, not well.
It's also in the back of my head.
You kind of held. Yeah, well, you kind of did. It was, but actually, if it's taking you to go through the Marine Corps in order to actually do this, then it worked. But you could have done it without going through the Marine Corps. Yeah, but I mean, that's water under the bridge. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, you just kind of screwed the pooch on that. But so what? You know what? It happens. But you still are in it, and if it's drilling it in your head, if you're getting a clearer picture, then it's working. But yeah, buddy, you could have done this a long time ago. It's just you got a little, and I get that because that happens all the time. But with stuff, the self doubt and the fear and the what am I doing, and it's really stupid and all that stuff. But you're a fucking you're a natural. You're a natural at this. I mean, this is what you're so good at that stuff. I mean, you just got the whole angles and all that stuff I could never do. I mean, you're talented. I'm not. No, I wish I had gifts. I can't even play the triangle. The only thing I can do is talk to dead people. That's the dumbest job on the planet. You can do stuff. You got an eye. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I trade you in a second because you can see things. You can see things in a way. You can capture things in a way that other people can't. So when they're looking at your stuff, they're there. You just got that thing. You got that talent. It's freaking cool that you got that. No, but you're not using it, so that's dumb. But you still have it.
Well, Matt, it was good to hear from you, bud.
Yeah, man. I was talking to Jamie in the chat. I'm down to come back and talk more if you want one day. So.
Oh yeah, definitely, Matt. Definitely love to have you back on the show, and thank you for your service, and stay safe, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you're pretty protected too.
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that feeling because these entities. I'm also a paranormal investigator, not just a documentary filmmaker. Obviously, since I watched this show, maybe that's kind of obvious. But anyway, I feel like I don't get attacked at all. Like nothing attacks me anymore.
No, and you got some you got like an old relative or grandpa or something around you that kind of protects you really well, and just from just kind of keeps you safe. And so you got this. It's going to help you when you go and do your stuff. When you go do your career stuff, because you're going to be traveling all over the place.
Yeah, I do foresee a lot of traveling. I've already.
Oh my God! What a great job!
I'll do a lot more.
Well, you're gonna be like going overseas a lot. You're gonna be doing a lot of stuff in weird places, and it's really cool what you're gonna do.
That's cool that you mentioned that actually, because I literally just thought of a show idea very recently, and it involves a lot of overseas stuff. So it's weird that you said that.
No, it's really cool the stuff that you're gonna do because it's just stuff that you're going to capture that other people aren't capturing in the way that you do it. And it's freaking cool, man. You should see it. But you're going to make your mark. People are going to know who you are because of it.
Well, Matt, thank you for calling in. Yeah, definitely. And want to hear more from you, bud.
Awesome. Sorry for keeping you.
No problem.
Talk to you guys later.
All right, later, Matt.
Nice to meet you, Matt.
Later. Nice to meet you too. Thank you very much.
Bye. All right. Now I think. All right. Oops. Somebody else. So as they were trying to call in or text, happy birthday to you. Oh, that's probably D. Hold on, D. I had somebody else trying to get the phones that call back the people that called in. Let's see. We got Dan coming on the line here in a second. Let's see. I think we got Dan on the line. You there, Dan? Captain Damage.
I'm here.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello, Jason.
Hey there. How you doing, Dan?
Hello, Michael, and hello, Jamie.
Hello.
Yeah, I had one little question tonight, if I could.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
I will say it's been a rough few years or so for me, but I was kind of wondering, in my current situation, what my next step should be.
Your next step should be, as far as what area?
As far as choices to be made, I guess, because like I say, it's kind of just a tough time here.
Okay, so help me out. Tell me what kind of things you're worried about, like as far as like your health or your career, or give me a direction to go with.
Kind of like career.
And what is it that you're concerned about with your career? Like whether you should pursue your career that you're doing now or go into a different one, that kind of thing?
Yeah, that and yeah, that kind of my career and kind of my, I don't know, there's kind of a lot of things out there. I was just kind of seeing what my the choice I need to make, I guess.
And what's the job title that you're in?
Well, I am currently not working because I was in a workplace shooting, a few years ago. So I've been out of work. So I've kind of been dealing with that stuff and trying to figure out where I'm going next. If that helps you.
Okay. Well, let's see. Where should you be going next? Oh God, let's see. Dan, jeez. I don't. Oh boy. Geez, buddy. Let's see. How do I describe that? So there's still some healing going on there with you, and it's they're kind of working on getting you. You're still in rehab, you might say, not necessarily literally rehab, but you're still kind of in. It's. It's funny. The reason I'm laughing is just because it's. So, God, how do I explain this? I'm trying to figure out a way to sum this up so that it makes some sense. But it's one of those things that it would probably take some time to explain. But the short answer is that it's like being in the hospital and you got a broken leg and you still got a broken leg, and it's getting mended, it's getting fixed, but you're antsy and you're ready to get going, and it's not time for you to get going yet. It's going to be time here pretty soon, like the end of July. They're going to be starting to bring some things to you, some people to you, other people that have gone through somewhat similar stuff like you. They're going to be calling on you. Something is happening to you while you're in this whole recovery thing. And so what I'm trying to say, you're kind of screwed for right now. It's the sucky part right now because you're still in recovery. There's still some emotional stuff that they're dealing with. There's still some, they're downloading a whole bunch of stuff with you still. Trying to get you ready to get going. And then they have some doors that they're going to be opening up, probably, like I said, in July, beginning of August, well, towards the end of August. But it's a different kind of path than you might think. It's about helping other people. There's some people that have gone through some stuff. You went through some weird stuff, and it didn't really screw you up because you're pretty strong, but it did screw you up a little bit, and they're trying to fix you. They're trying to fix you a little bit, and when you come out of this thing, which, like I say, is coming up fairly soon here in the next couple months, it's they're going to be bringing people to you that, haven't handled situations as well, and I'm not really doing it justice by explaining it this way, but and it's not really going to help tonight because there's really no. I'm not really giving you any answers, but when you're done in the recovery part, they have all these. They haven't even presented the ideas to you yet, but it involves helping other people. It involves. It involves helping other people, teaching and instructing and doing, because the stuff that you went through was really valuable. The stuff that you went through. The problem is, Dan, that it would take a while to explain it to you, and I don't have any quick answers for you. It's just, God. It's a lot different than what you're thinking probably right now. You're getting a whole bunch of different thoughts right now, but it's not. They haven't presented you the opportunities yet, but they will fairly soon here in the next, like I say, couple months. But it's a lot different than you think.
Okay.
I know, not helpful, but that's what I would have said too. Okay, waiter, check please. But it's a weird thing, Dan, because it's just. It's one of those things. I don't know. It's just, it's a bad timing kind of thing. You're doing everything right. I mean, and I know it seems a little crazy and you probably seem a little bored and a little bugged and a little uncertain and all that stuff. But it's like, that's what happens in recovery. You go through all this different stuff, but you're almost done, which is great. It will start to make sense here, but it's not like a normal job. It's not like you just go back into a normal job. You're not normal anymore. That sounds terrible.
I agree. He's definitely not normal.
Right. And you're not supposed to be doing normal things anymore. And you're special kind of thing. Not like Jerry's Kid's special, but you're special in what you can do. And so that they're going to be presenting that to you at the end of this. But you're no longer a normal guy. Not that you ever were, but you're really not normal now. And they have a specific area that they need you to go to. But
I would agree with that.
Yeah, me too.
It's just, you're here to do some different stuff. And, but it boils down to helping other people, though, just because you can reach people that would be considered mentally ill or that, maybe that's a bad way to put it. You can reach people that are unreachable by other people. Let's put it that way. Because of what you've gone through, because you understand things, because you just know stuff, all the stuff that you went through was pretty valuable. I mean, you did pretty well, you should be more crazier than you are. And you did really well. But now they still have to recover, you still have to go through some recovery, and then they present this thing to you. And it's kind of it's through a friend, it's through a female friend that suggests some stuff, and you're just thinking, yeah, what the hell? And it just opens up to this whole different thing. But they have a plan. I mean, they got a great plan. Please don't think that you're being forsaken or that you're just being left, because the only reason you may not feel anything is because your guides are kind of working on the next step. They're like rearranging the party room, and so they're not really talking to you very much because you're just sitting there, So they're not talking to you, and they're not giving you any answers because they can't, there's nothing to say right now. You've got to go through this last little period here. Because it is actually making you strong, even though it doesn't feel like it. But I know it's not helpful, but you'll see. You'll see. You'll see.
Okay.
It's just a different thing.
We will.
It's a lot more different than you think. Because you're a different guy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you,
you're
Dan.
not a normal guy.
It changed me around for sure.
Yeah.
It definitely flipped me in some weird ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a lot of weird stuff going on. Me and Dan talk a lot, and I know I won't go into what Dan, that's on him to talk about, but I know he's going through a lot of weird stuff right now.
Yeah, but you're handling it pretty well. I have to say you're handling it pretty well. It's just you're getting a bunch of you're being affected by a lot of different things, and there's a reason for that. But it's not time to make a decision about where you're going to go with your career. It's just not, because you'll change your mind 2 weeks into whatever you're doing. You can't. You're not. It's not a normal kind of thing. It's not going from A to B. It's like with you, you're going to go to A to Z to L to M. You're going to be going all over the place.
Yeah, seems like that. Yeah, lately.
But really, it's just getting through this. That's all. They just want you to get through this. Just lay in the bed. Just try and not take too many things seriously right now because they're coming at you with all this weird stuff. Just getting through it. That's what they're trying to get you through. They're just trying to get you through this. Because this is the sucky part.
Well, I don't feel like it's, anything negative for sure. It's,
Oh, it would drive me crazy. Not knowing and just sitting there. Oh, my God. It'd drive me nuts.
You do have a lot of questions. Dan asks me questions all the time about some of the weird stuff that's going on. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. It's weird.
Yeah, but see, there's very specific reasons for it because the people that are coming into your life also, they don't handle it very well. And you're going to be able to talk to them and give them a sense of understanding and they know that you know. And it's, a lot of times people go through experiences and they can't make it. They start drinking a lot. They start doing a lot of drugs. They kill themselves. A lot of people don't make it. But they have somebody like you that comes along that can help some of these people or do some things or influence people. And it's what you got is kind of a big deal. So, but it sucks to be you.
Well, I definitely try to keep some of my buddies in check for sure. I mean, they've, seen worse than me. So, got to check on everybody every now and then.
Yeah.
Well, Dan, thank you for calling in, bud.
Yep, I appreciate it, guys.
Hey, I'm
Thank
sorry
you,
it wasn't
Michael.
very helpful, but you'll see. Yeah.
That's the problem with the psychic prediction of the future. A lot of times it's like, okay, but they won't really know until they see it.
Yeah, that's a weird thing.
Have a great night, Dan.
Yeah. All right. See you guys.
See you.
Bye, Dan.
See something else. Let me see. That's 12:16. I'm trying to track the calls as they call in. I think that. Let me try this one that just called here. We got a little bit of time before the last commercial break. Let me see if I can pick this person up. Trying to see the clock. Says it's ringing. Let me see. All right, we got somebody else on the line. I had to call him back because I don't know why he keeps hanging up. Who do we got? 808 area code.
It's Linda from Hawaii.
Linda from Hawaii. I wish I was in Hawaii.
Cool.
Yes.
Me too.
Hi.
Hi.
We got about 5
Hello.
minutes
Hi,
before.
Michael.
I'm going to give you a warning. We got about
Hi.
5 minutes before commercial break, so I'm letting Michael know. So this is a
Okay, I'll
5-minute
talk
reading,
fast.
Linda.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm just curious. I'm just wondering if there's any other children. Is there any children for me in the future?
Children?
Yes. Any more babies? Pregnancies?
Yeah, there seems to be. Yeah, but more than one though. Yeah, it seems to be. There seems to be a lot of kids drawn to you. I see, and I don't know if they're in spirit or if they're just actual.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing that's confusing. But I would say, yeah, more than one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 Because I already have 5 kids. I'm just, wondering. I've had 6 pregnancies, so I think like you were saying, there's one in spirit. I know that is with me. So
Yeah. But see, that's the thing that's confusing
that's
to
what
me.
you're
I
maybe
don't
picking
know.
up on.
Yeah, because they do seem, but there does seem like a physical thing. I mean, holy crap, you got like a daycare center going on there. But there seems to be a want, or I would, if it seems to be like there's a couple more kids that want to be there. There's some for some reason, and see, the thing that's confusing is that spirit that's with you, that little, that spirit. That little girl thing. I don't know if she's going to come through or not. But I do see. But I do see another. Yeah, it's. Yeah, honey, you just got to be. Yeah. I do. Yes, I do.
All right. Well, thank you
Yeah.
for answering
Well,
my question.
well,
Sure
yeah.
appreciate it.
Well, holy crap, honey, that's a lot of kids.
Yeah. I just love being a mom. It's my calling in life, and
No kidding.
It's everything to me. So, yeah.
Well, you're very good at it. It's just that, the problem is there's too many kids that would like to come through you, and it's like there's only, they can't, it's like, they can only, they have to limit it, is what I guess is what I'm trying to say. So it's not a matter of whether you're going to have more kids or if there's more kids. I do think that there's more kids. It's just that they're trying to limit them.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And then one day you'll be a grandma. Then one day you'll be a grandma, and then you get to send the kids back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm just waiting for those days. I'm just waiting patiently to be a grandma. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it does feel like there's at least one more. Yeah, it does.
At least. You're going to have the Partridge family going on here.
Yeah, no, you could start up a basketball team, for God's sake. Yeah.
Yeah, more power to you. I had 2, and I'm like, I'm done. I love them to death. I can't imagine my world without my kids. I love being a father. But 2 was enough for me, so more power to you for being a great mom and having 5 kids already.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And in Hawaii.
Yeah, but see, that's a problem. Yeah, well, yeah. I'm curious. Yeah, it's just, it's interesting with you because there seems to be a lot of kids that want to. I want
to be reborn in Hawaii. I'd want to be getting into that family, like Hawaii. Yeah, that's where I want to. That family, that mom. Yeah, Hawaii. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had to choose, like, where do you want to be born? We have an opening in Hawaii. That's me. Yep, I'll take that one.
Yeah, no kidding.
I always wanted to visit Hawaii. One day, I hope to. It looks so beautiful. It comes up on your screensavers, pictures of like beautiful places, and Hawaii will come up. I'm like, oh, I want to go there. Well, thank you, Linda, so much for calling in tonight.
Well, yeah.
So much, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations.
Have a great night.
Oh, thanks. Okay, you too.
All right, bye.
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 But again, there's another one. It sounds like she lost one, and she feels the spirit of the child around her.
I know you can, but and I don't know that baby's going to go through her because the timing is weird. But
well, that's what a lot of I've known people who have lost babies, and it's a life. Even if it didn't get born, it was a life to them. It's a spirit, and it's a loss, and it's a hard one. But they are there. There's a spirit there, and sometimes that's part of. I've had psychics say that's part of their karmic journey, is to not be born. Basically, that
right.
Something happens. It's part of a karma thing that they're filling out. I don't know what it is. It's sad when a parent, when a miscarriage happens, and they know there's something missed there. But for some reason a life has a choice. It doesn't, maybe it partly comes and decides, you know what, I'm not going to do this. What was that movie with, oh God, it was a time travel movie. I think it ends with a twist ending where he decides to go back in time and he just chooses not to be born. Oh, what was that movie? I can't remember now. And that always made me wonder about miscarriages, like if that is like something like that they live their life and then something happens and it's a time travel thing. They come back. I know. Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy. I don't know. We got to go to our last commercial break. You able to hang in there one more half hour?
I sure am.
All right, Michael. We're going to go to commercial break, guys, and then we'll keep the phone lines open. I might miss your phone call during the commercial break because I step away, but you can try calling in. Hopefully I'll catch you. Otherwise, I'll try calling you back. Just remember, it hangs up on you. I've had this issue. I'll try calling you back, but we're going to go to our last commercial break and continue with our guest, Michael Bodine, author of Growing Up Psychic, From Skeptic to Believer, and also A Psychic Life, What It's Really Like. More from Michael when we come back from the short commercial break.
Intercepted the transmission of unknown origin.
Transmission? Out here?
SOS.
Human?
Unknown.
Alien. Certificate X. Exclusive engagement at the Odeon Leicester Square. Now.
Any systematized transmission indicating a possible intelligent origin must be investigated. I will hear it.
In space, no one can hear you scream.
If you are interested in discovering the truth about the paranormal and want to hear from leading researchers in the field, join Justin Brown on his 3 weekly shows named My Paranormal Soapbox, Necromancer Live Show, and the Supernatural Symposium, live on Facebook, YouTube, and InterfaceDeath.net.
This is an APAC studio presentation.
Hi, I'm Barry, owner-operator of Barry's Barometer Barn. Lately, I bet you've been lying awake at night asking yourself, how many barometers do I really need? Well, at Barry's Barometer Barn, we think you need more than one. Otherwise, we're gonna go out of business. Remember, at Barry's Barometer Barn, we don't know the meaning of high-pressure sales. Come on, folks, buy another barometer. I'm trying to put my kids through college, I've got a family to support, and a secret mistress who isn't cheap.
Visit Barry's Barometer Barn, 000 Storm Drive. Come on, folks, buy a barometer. I'm Barry's older brother, Larry, and every time one of you people walk past the store without coming in, Barry beats me.
This has been a presentation from Tim Morgan's APAC Studio. For more almost professional amateur comic studio content, visit the APAC YouTube channel. Search APAC 2002. That's APAC 2002 on YouTube.
When Alex Gardner is asleep, he has an extraordinary gift. The government wants it, the scientists want it, but to keep it may cost him his life. It might be better if Alex didn't sleep at all, but he cannot resist entering the dreamscape. Can you? See Dreamscape in the West End and all over London now. Certificate 15. It takes an extraordinary adventurer to enter the dreamscape.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from Talkstream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now. The Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday at the live stream with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do voices from beyond the cold case files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Since 1948, Fate magazine has brought you reports of the strange and unknown, all of them true. Fate Radio is carrying on that tradition, bringing you the unusual, macabre, strange, and bizarre. Join host Kat Hobson Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
Heat 'em up.
Do, re, be gone.
Tonight on Paranormal Soup, our guest has been Michael Bodine. He is a psychic and author of Growing Up Psychic, From Skeptic to Believer, and his other book is A Psychic Life, What It's Really Like. I love Michael's energy. We always have this is the second time we've had on the show, and it's always a fun time when Michael's on. He predicts mainly the future, your possible future. The future's always in motion. Remember, I always say that on the show? Yoda quote. Call in tonight if you do have like an idea, a question for Michael, a direction for him to look into. That's where he works best. To kind of give you an idea of what possible outcomes lay ahead of you down the road in the path. When I read tarot, that's how I did it with tarot. I think that's how Michael kind of works. It's possible paths that you could go down. So have an idea in your head. I want to thank also, reminder, you can donate to the show. Somebody just did in the YouTube Super Chat. $10. Thank you, John. That's great. Everything you guys contribute on Patreon or in YouTube Super Chat does help pay the bills for the show. It is greatly appreciated, as well as everybody who shares out the show. Had a lot of viewers tonight. Thank you to everybody who does share out the show. Keep telling people about Paranormal Soup, place where the weird and unusual happens live. And we always have great guests like Michael, so let's go ahead and get right back to it. All right. Still there with me, Michael?
I sure am. How you doing?
Doing good. Well, I forgot to give out phone lines again, just so you guys know. There's 2 of them open out of the 4. One phone for both is 219-230-4444, or you can call in at Skype ID. It's OOJBLANDOO. That's a Skype ID. Call in, either one. If I hang up on you, it's because I got somebody else on there, or my phone likes to hang up. I might call you back. So just be prepared if I call you back. So, yeah, tonight, we've been doing, like, the mini readings and that. Do you think your ability, you talked about how Jerry used to tell you stuff and all that, but do you think your ability is just you tapping into the, collective unconscious, or or is it messages from like your spirit guides that are like looking into this and kind of showing you?
Well, that's a good question. I assume that it's a lot of the stuff that it's funny. I don't always remember saying stuff to people. People will call me back and say,
from other psychics, yes.
Yeah, that I said this or that, and I'm thinking I didn't say that, and that happens a lot. So I don't, but I don't black out when I do readings or anything like that.
No.
I'm aware of talking, but I don't. When people paraphrase me back, I'm always surprised.
I've had that experience, even in tarot. I read tarot for people. They're like, "Oh my God, you were totally right." Like I don't remember what I told you. And I had one psychic explain to me is that, well, it's not your information to save in your brain; it's somebody else's information. So why would your brain save it?
Right. Yeah, and I think that's true. I just, when you talk to a bunch of people, you don't want to walk around with that stuff in your head. It'll make you crazy.
Yeah, it's not your information. Why would you hold on to it?
Exactly. But then at the same time, I can't remember people's names after I talk to them.
Right.
I mean, if I see them in person or something, like I'll be discussing really detailed, heavy stuff, sex with your dad, and then I run into the person and I don't remember who they are, and we've had this really intimate conversation, and they feel bad, like I should remember who they are, but I don't. I have to go by it's like the frequency around the person or the color around the person, and if I can tap into that, then I can kind of remember what we talked about, but not very much of it. Just little bits and pieces.
Like we're trying to remember what you said about me last time you were on almost a year ago, and I can't even remember what you said. Well, it was my own reading.
I do remember. Yeah, I do remember that it was about them, wanting you to go bigger, and that they were trying to talk to you. They were working with you themselves, and that they had this. They were trying to get to you about stuff. But I also know that it's difficult sometimes to hear spirit or understand what they're saying. And but in your case, it seemed like they were going to keep going until you got it. And
they must be really frustrated with me, because I was lately where I've been in my life. I'm like, I don't know where I go next or what I do. Like it's one of those kind of in limbo right now.
But I think they want you in that spot, going, what the hell am I doing, blah, blah, blah. Because then they can start answering those questions without you thinking about it too much, because you'll be so desperate, It's if they shut all the doors around you and then they open up a little door, you'll just go right through it, even if you don't know what it is, just to get the hell out of there. And I think in your case, I think that's what they're trying to do is just get you to just do some stuff like, the writing and stuff, because I know you're supposed to write. And
Oh man.
but I understand how difficult that is. But I know that they're going to help you with it too.
I used to write all the time, and I'm not blaming my kids, but I used to read all the time. I mean, I used to be like a 6 book a week reader. Now I can't even finish a book in a month or two because, with work, kids, adulting. Especially as a parent, I'm not.
I
I
know.
love my kid. I love
know.
it though. I mean, I love being a dad, and I love this time
I know.
that
It's
I'm
the best
spending
job
with
in
my
the
kids. That's what I see is like, this period of my life, I'm all right with what I am, what I'm doing. I feel like I'm in limbo where I could go in the future, but at the same time, it's like I want to enjoy the moments I have with my kids while they're this age. They're only they're only 6 and 10 once, And
I totally agree. But also, you're going to give them permission to do what they're supposed to do if you go follow the stuff that you're here to do. Because that's what I raised my kids. Because when I was married, my wife owned a hair salon, so she was gone all the time, and I got to raise my kids because I stayed home, and I loved it. I mean, I loved every second of it. I hated like when they went to school. I loved snow days. I love it when they were sick. I loved being around them. I just loved it. And
my wife jokes all the time. It's like if we won the lotto or won enough money for one of us to quit a job, she's like, "You'd be the stay-at-home dad." She doesn't. My wife is an amazing mom. Like she does so much. Like for the kids, way more than I do. I have, jealous sometimes, but she, I don't feel like I could do what she does. And says you can be the stay-at-home dad. I would actually love it. I would love it, but
oh my God,
I feel like I would totally fail.
I
would totally be Mr. Dad, and I would totally fail because I cannot do the stuff that she does, and she works and does, most of the time.
Yeah, but see, I didn't even like kids growing up. They bugged me. They just kind of little kids. They bugged me.
Yeah.
And so I didn't think I was going to be a good dad at all. But I just
I
loved
feel you on
my
that.
kids. Oh my God.
Well, it changes everything.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to be a dad. Me and my wife got together. Like, no kids. We went 8 years of marriage before we had our son. But like I said, I saw him. Right before we were going to get married, I saw him. So like that is some like predestination feeling to it, but at the same time, it's like they choose you, and this is going to be a And he told, like Jamie reminded me, is that Liam told my wife, I chose you. And it's interesting how these things play out.
Tell it, yeah.
You're talking about
I
bet what do your kids think of Dad being a psychic?
Well, like I said, they kind of grew up like this, and so they were kind of used to it. We have a lot of ghosts in the house, and they got used to seeing ghosts all the time. My daughter was talking to my grandmother, really tiny, 2 or 3 years old, and they just got kind of used to it. And I didn't want them to have the same weirdness that I had growing up with it. I wanted it to be kind of a normal thing, so they just kind of see it as a normal thing. I remember one time I pulled up into the driveway, and there was a guy at my front door, and I thought, oh shoot, I must have forgot I had to do a reading or something like that.
Yeah.
And I said to my son, I said, oh crap, I think I have to do a reading. He goes, Dad, look at his feet, and the guy didn't have any feet. It was just a ghost standing at the door. But he was so jaded from the whole thing. He didn't even think anything of it. He just, yeah. Yeah.
We got somebody else on the line. Who do we got on the line? I think it's on the Skype call-in line.
This is Drake the Dragon. Dragon.
Hey Drake, how you doing?
I'm second time caller officially speaking, but
welcome.
I've been listening for a while. I figure I'd give a call in at least the last few minutes. I believe I think John says you could actually perhaps maybe give me suggestion of a possible future.
Oh, well, I can give it a shot.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
What kind of what kind of area were you thinking about?
Well, I'm not sure. I have an interesting life already, so.
As I say, are you looking? Because remember, you want to give Michael a direction to go into. So.
Yeah, I just need a direction. I'm not that great.
What are you looking for the future?
Direction.
I'm looking for either A, relationships, or B, possible maybe career changes, or any ideas like that you might see that might be something along that line.
And what's your present job title?
My present job title is pretty much an IT manager.
IT manager. And relationships. Let's see, done just a second with the thing and the thing. Let's see if I was okay. Yeah, that's pretty stupid what you're doing.
Oh, that's not what you want to hear.
Well, I'm an IT dragon to be exact, but
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm just kind of talking out loud. I shouldn't. It, um, well, yeah, you're a tough nut to crack too. You're an interesting guy. Okay. Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, we were just talking about that. The difficult. Okay, so different career. Yeah, well, okay, so.
Can I say roar?
Yeah. Well, see, the problem is there's a couple areas that they want to work with, and they have this relationship thing that they kind of want you to have a little stability, so they want because they want this relationship thing to kind of come in, because you're a little retarded when it comes to relationships, and they kind of get you up to speed a little bit, and so they have this relationship that that they have to work on you on a personal level first, and then they can kind of start changing the actual job thing. Because if you go out and start doing different job stuff, it'll kind of take away from, because it's important that they have you in a relationship. That seems to be a big deal to them. It's like they want to get this, they have a person in mind, and they just don't want, you're kind of a pain in the ass for these guys, because they got to nail you down, and they just want this relationship, which they got this person coming here pretty quick. And they got to work out some of the issues that you got relationship wise, just the whole getting used to the whole relationship thing, like a good relationship, like a functional relationship, like something, because you've had some interesting choices, in the past.
Oh yeah, I could say that again.
Like, what the hell were you thinking about? Whatever. But they need this relationship thing. So, and it's going to take like about a year of being in this relationship, which they have set up. It's a nice one. You're going to like it. See, I'm trying not to tell you too much, because it's got to be kind of a surprise, because you kind of are, you're a little skittish, with some kind of relationship. And I don't blame you, because some of the people that you've attracted are just kind of a little psycho, a little tad, or a little. I shouldn't say psycho. They're probably very nice, but they're
probably really hot, but really crazy, right?
Yeah. Well,
I've known a lot of crazy people I've already ran into in my life. So
yeah, and you can do crazy.
That.
Yeah, but they can't have crazy in this next relationship. I don't know that you would know how to handle a normal relationship, because you'd be looking, for something weird to happen. But if they give you a stable relationship, which they have a plan for, it's a nice relationship. It's like, you're going to keep looking over your shoulder, like, okay, what's the catch? What's the catch? But they have to have that. So then you can get out of your job. Your job.
You had to throw in the dumb job.
You know what's real funny is that you're not the only person who said that to me so far.
Well, but it's for you to be there. It's like, what the hell? It doesn't make. You can do that, but you can do it in your sleep. It's just a dumb job for you, bud. It's like you're
Don't hold back, Michael.
Yeah, I'm just saying that it's just a really stupid job for you, not for anybody else. Somebody else would be really good at. Not that you're not good at it, because you are good. It's just that you could, like I say, you can do it in your sleep. It's really dumb, and it's a waste of your time. But
I have done it in my sleep. Sometimes fall asleep in doing it.
Yeah.
As long as you didn't ask, did you turn it on and off?
Yeah, right. But
that's actually on a tape recording. It's fully automated for that.
Yeah. But see, they get this relationship, they give you a little stability, then you can start to see, okay, wait a second, I gotta get this doesn't make sense. And it's because of this consistency with this relationship. It's great. It allows you to kind of grow, because, like I said, you're a little slow in the relationship thing, just because of some of the past experiences. And they get some of these bugs worked out, and you get out of there relatively quick once you start to realize that. So, and then they have, they got all sorts of stuff in store for you. But you're kind of like you're a college student and hanging out in third grade right now with your job. That's how dumb it is. It's just so dumb. And you're a lot more capable, but you're not. You're kind of just hiding out in a way. But that's okay. That they know that, and they got a plan. They just have to bring in. They just have to bring in this relationship first before, and because she wants to do a bunch of stuff and grow and do all these kinds of things, and it's like you actually want to do it too. It's like it ignites a bunch of stuff inside you, is what I'm trying to say. It's just your growth has been a little stunted, and staying at your job is just not helping at all. But don't worry, they got a plan. But this is not your career. This is not where you're going to stay. It's not.
Thanks.
Thanks
for the tips on that. That's actually very enlightening. So
you'll see. This person's right down. They've been ordered already. It's already been UPS, so they should be coming fairly soon here. They've already.
You just got to be ready not to screw it up. That's right.
Well, and you see, and that's the thing about this relationship. You can't screw it up. It's like freaking Mary Poppins. Every time you go to screw it up or self-sabotage it or something, it doesn't work. It's just amazing. It's like, whoa, this is going to actually work. And then you start to get a little confidence and you start to see things a little different ways. And yeah, it's really good what they have in store, but that's the only way they can't get you. They can't just say, we need you to get a different job, because you won't listen. You just won't listen. You see things 10 steps ahead and you just think, well, this isn't going to work or that's not going to work. But if they can change the whole philosophy, then it will change. And that's what this relationship's about, is changing your whole philosophy, which is really good, because then you'll go, oh crap, what am I doing in third grade? It's like you wake up, and and it's good, but they have to do the relationship first. They should be coming pretty quick. Yeah, keep checking the mail, because they'll be there. Yeah, they'll be there pretty quick.
Keep checking on that.
And I know you're going to try. You're not going to believe it as it's going. You're going to think, no, this person is too good to be true, and it turns out that they actually are. And it's not because they're great. It's just that they work really well with you. You guys are in concert. You both are kind of nutty, and so it works really well. It's like you've both been through some weird stuff, and this person's very committed to you, because they seem to recognize something in you. I don't know what the hell it is, but they seem to recognize something in you.
What you can say about the ones that are crazy is at least they're committed.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but this one, yeah, you're going to like this.
This would be good kind of crazy,
you're going to like this one. Yeah. And yeah, you know crazy. You can smell crazy a mile away, but this is not that kind of crazy. This is, yeah. Nobody. It's time for a change. They just can't. They can't come straight up and tell you, because you just won't listen.
Yeah, I feel that. I tend to not listen.
Yeah, and it's not, Yeah, and I get that, because that kind of happens, especially with people like yourself. You got a bit of an older soul, so older souls are like getting an old man out of a barco launcher. They don't really want to do it, but then once they get up, they can do a whole bunch of stuff. But
that angry grandpa.
Yeah, kind of thing. Yeah, they're just a little pissed off, and they don't want to do the stuff that they're here to do. But if they're inspired, then they will. And this person actually is very inspiring. But it's not. I think you're just going to be amazed at how you see things in a different way with this other person that's coming. But it starts with the relationship thing. It's all about the relationship thing.
Very understandable.
Well, thank you, Drake, for calling in, bud.
All right. Well,
nice talking to you.
Thanks for the effort. It was nice talking to you guys too. Bye-bye.
Have a good night. But I was wondering with your kids and that we were talking before you called in. And I know other people have been trying to call in. I don't know. Sometimes it hangs up. I could maybe fit in one more call if you got in now. Well, keep an eye on the lines. But I took my kids on their first ghost hunt on our first family vacation. We went to St. Augustine Lighthouse Place. And I thought, oh, they're probably going to be bored, because you've gone on plenty, I'm sure, boring ghost tours. Like, we love it, as adults. We get into the history and stuff, if you love that stuff, But, my kids are really going to get in. Oh, my God, they were so into it. They were so into it.
Yeah.
And they're like, when are we going to do it again? Oh, my God. There's like his favorite part of the trip was doing the haunted lighthouse. And
I love St. Augustine. I was just there.
Really?
It was really fun. Yeah, I did. I shot something for the Travel Channel or something.
Oh yeah, Rob, my other co-host, is usually on here with us, but he had a gig tonight. Is in St. Augustine, so it's my first time I got to meet him there, and the kids loved him. And
cool.
Well, all right, looks like we are going to get one more call. We're going to try to squeeze in here. I think if it picks up, did it pick up or did it not? Let me try. Let me see. Did it pick up? I can't tell. It like shows like it is. Tap to return to call. Call ended. Hold on. Let me go back to sideline. Huh. Let me see. If it's this one, and maybe I'll call back. iPhone call. Hold on. Call ended. All right. The phone is glitching because it's acting like I'm still in a call, but I'm not.
What the hell?
Yeah, I know. Incoming call, Skype audio. All right. Call back. I had 2 calls at once. I think that's what screwed it up. See if I can get him back, because we got a few more minutes. Here, let's see. Try to fit in as many as I can. Let me see if I can get this one. I think this was the first one I saw. I think I had 2 people calling once, and that really screws up my cheap phone system. Join call. Let's try that. Go to call. Let's do that. Skype. Gotta love it. All right, I think we got it online. Who do we got on the Skype line?
This is Brenna.
Hey, Brenna. We got just a little bit of time left, so if you got a question for Michael, shoot away.
Yeah, I do. I'm actually kind of resigning my
Brenna,
job.
how are you?
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
And I am just not sure what to expect.
Like gunplay or something, you mean?
She's resigning.
Say that
Oh,
again?
you mean like in the future with... Oh, I didn't know she was expecting like them to get really upset and... Yeah. You mean as far as like you didn't know what to expect as far as the next job kind of thing?
Yeah. I'm super concerned. I don't like change.
Yeah. I feel you.
I've been working at this place for 17 years. I've been teaching for 20 years, so I'm really nervous.
You're really nervous about leaving. And what's the name of and your job title is what? Teacher?
I'm a teacher.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And the job. Is there anything? Yeah. They can't wait for you to resign. They can't wait. Honey, I don't know what the hell. If you did time or something or what the deal is, but geez, you've been
being a teacher, you did time.
Yeah, I mean, geez. They are so excited. I mean, you may be nervous about it, but they can't wait. It's first they gotta. I mean, they're so excited that you're going to resign because then they can get things going.
Right.
I mean, honey, I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the hell kept you there so long, but whatever. They're just really excited that you're going to go because then you got to air out a little bit because you're a little bit of a spaz. So they want to air you out. Get you just comfortable with the idea, and then but then they have and they got to kind of redial you a little bit so you don't just kind of do somewhat the same kind of thing. You're resigning with just on fumes. It's not like you're resigning with a head of steam. You're resigning just with like barely anything left. So it's kind of like they have to, they have to kind of heal you up a little bit after you get out of it. I know you're worried about stuff, honey, but oh my God, this is such a great decision. And really, it's been time. I mean, it's like way past the time. I mean, they wanted you to resign a while ago. It's just, I mean, it's not just one thing either. It's a bunch of things. And you're just, you're pretty toasty, you're pretty burnt. And so it's going to take a little time to kind of get you back to normal. It's like, you're riding the brakes, you're just kind of, when you're that burnt out, you're tired. Oh my God, your soul is so tired. And that's why they're excited, honey, because they know that they can work with you, but they have to get you back up to speed. It's been, I mean, you really rode the hell out of those brakes, and it's like you're just showing up with just a nub. There's barely just enough of you left to resign. Let's put it that way. It's like right. So it would be nerve-wracking to think of you staying. That would be crazy. That would be nuts. And it's nuts that you stayed this long. So yes, I know you're nervous, but and I can't even tell you not to be because I know that's just your way. But
Yeah.
the reason you're resigning is because you like yourself enough to. I mean, you like yourself enough, or at least something in your little head recognizes that you can't keep going on like this. And that's the little, they've been whispering in your ear for a long time, And,
Yeah.
And finally said yeah, and they're very, very.
Oh, Michael, you're cutting
It's
out now.
great.
Oh no.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're cut.
I don't want you to think that everything's gonna get.
You're there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It just says poor connection. It's like losing you.
Oh, okay.
There you
Really?
go. Yeah, you're here. Now it's connected.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Please don't think that everything's going to be peaches and cream right away. It's going to be a couple of weeks to kind of air you out, but then they kind of get you back on your feet again. That's how burnt out you are. It's pretty bad, honey. You're pretty toast. So
yeah,
it's going to just take a little bit of recovery.
What grades did you teach?
Yeah, but that's the
second grade.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's a lot of energy, but I'm at the point in my life I'm just tired of being pushed around, and I'm done. I'm tired.
Oh.
Your soul is really tired. It's not. It's deep tired. It's not even kind of just casually tired. It's deep tired, and so you're not thinking clear headed because of it.
Right.
And so that's all. It just, I know you're nervous about it, but it's absolutely 3,000% the right decision. I swear to Jesus.
Okay. And then, I just was going to say, so it's teaching. That's all I know. So I'm just nervous about what's next. If it's going to be school related or I don't know.
It's funny because it's a little bit more, it's a little more isolated. It's little more specialized teaching. They want you out of the same kind of venues that you've been doing. It's like they want to put you in a different setting. They want you to do the teaching, but it's in a different way. But first they got to get you out. You're not going to go back to the same kind of teaching that you've been doing.
Okay.
But it's a little more specialized, and it's a lot more fulfilling for you, and it feels like you get that excitement back. Like you're doing something. Like you like what you're doing. You haven't liked what you're doing for a long time, and they get that back. And you've been putting up with it and stuff, so you've probably been convincing yourself that you like it, but it's you really start to like it again.
Well,
Brenna, good.
I got to cut you off though. We're at the end of the show. Brenna, thank you so much for calling in.
Thanks for taking
good luck
my call.
And congratulations,
Thank you again,
honey. That's so great. Yeah, it's really, really great.
Thank you. Thanks much,
Sure.
everybody.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, Michael, it's been great having you on. Where can people get a hold of you at if they want a reading?
Oh, reading. Yeah. Well, they can get a hold of me through my website, michaelbodine.com, I guess. But you know what? Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can.
You said michaelbodine.com?
Yeah.
All right. Check it out there. And Michael, I'd love to have you on again in the future. There's a lot of stuff we get to talk to. We had a lot of calls. As soon as I opened the phone lines, that was it. I still got people calling in. I'm sadly at the end of the show. I know I saw Dee in the chat room said she was trying to call in, and some others, And I wasn't only going to do a short show tonight. But we went the whole 3 hours. It went by real quick. And I want to say thanks to our IT friend, Drake the Dragon, there for the $10 donation on Super Chat. Again, those donations help big time. Thank you guys so much. That is it for the show, Michael. You were great. Like I said, we'll have to have you on again. And you have a great night, buddy.
Thanks. You too.
All
okay.
Right.
I'll talk to you later.
All right, guys. That's it for the show. We will be back next Sunday. Same bad time. Well, that's not the right bumper music. I keep doing that. That's the right bumper music. We'll be back next Sunday. Same bad time, same bad channel. Next week's guest is Marnie Hill. She is an author, and we're going to talk about spiritual transformative encounters, or STEs. I know a lot of you have had, I have, and others, that I called in the show, listeners have had spiritual transformative encounters. And that can be a lot of different things. And so I'm excited to have Marnie Hill on next Sunday, same bad time, same bad channel, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Central, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Pacific time. Thank you to everybody who donates on Super Chat. Thank you, John. Thank you, Drake. Thank you to all my Patreon members, all 9 of you. $2 a month. That's help pay the bills. And thank you again to everybody who does tell people about Paranormal Soup and shares the show out. Keep telling people this is the place where the weird and paranormal happens live every Sunday night. All right, guys, have a great night. See you next Sunday.